Where it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I know everybody's like, well, your live's so early. So this live was actually scheduled for yesterday afternoon. But because of timing between picking up kids and what time they let everybody out of court, I kind of made the decision that it wouldn't be, we wouldn't have the time together if we had gone live yesterday afternoon, because then all the lawyers would have been coming out of court and we would have been wanting to watch their channel. So I took last night to go through about six channels to collect a ton of information to create a chart on the DNA for us to go through today. So thank you guys for being here. This actually works out too, because there are some people who are in different time zones or have to work at different times. And so you're able to actually catch a live versus having to watch the replay. No, I am actually sick again. I know, frog in the throat. No, I have a cough drop in. So all of my listeners with the misophonia, like C-Dub and Sleuthy, I apologize. I have a cough drop in. I'm going to continue to have a cough drop in. It's just, it started yesterday afternoon. I know, it's so stupid. I mean, I'm fine. I just don't feel great, but I'm not dying or anything. Like I am probably going to go take a nap before I pick up kids after this live though. Just saying. So I put all that together. So we're going to go through that today. I'm going to say hi to you guys. So anybody who's just joining, we are technically going through what happened in court yesterday. So far, for anybody who wants an update in court today, so far the only thing happening in court today is the videos of the interrogations / interviews are being played for the jury. So they started with the October 13th with Mullen and Liggett, and they will be going through the one from the 26th. These are October 2022. The one from October 26th with Holman. So they are both in evidence, and the judge did say that there are certain redactions that are done with the videos because they're not pertinent to the case. So they took that part out. So that's what they're listening to in court today. I'm very curious to see the notes that people come out with. I don't know. This is a tough week for kids because I have a couple that are getting out like right around the same time. So one would have to wait if my husband has to do all the pickup. So I don't know timing wise for lives. Like this might actually be better to kind of go back and do what we learned from yesterday, at least for this week. I'm going to play it by ear. So just know, I mean, if I'll let you guys know what day we're going over. So as of right now, we're going over Monday, October 28th. It was day number 9 of testimony. If you're following it in that count, it was day number 12 if you're going with jury selection. Does that make sense? I have a feeling Andrea will be in stroke territory after listening to and watching Holman in action. That's a very good possibility. She was not happy on Saturday with Holman's testimony. So let me say hi to you guys, and then we're going to get started on everything that we learned yesterday. So hi, Sleuthy. Hi, Just Deb. What's up, CH? Hey, Marianne. Hi, Mandy. Hey, Yaya. Hi, CH. What's up, Radar? Get some airborne gummies. There's some wicked shit flying around out there. Yeah, well, because everybody just like passes this shit around to each other in the house, and it always ends up landing back on me. I have a terrible immune system, apparently. Let's see. Hi, Jancy. Hey, Scully. What's up, Rocky? I was on replay with Bob, but I have been waiting for you in the DNA. Aw, thanks. Thank you, Christy. Hey, Hollis. Hi, Susan. Yeah, the slime balls. The little slime balls. This doesn't bother me only when it's Annie. I don't know what that is. Oh, like the misophonia stuff? Oh, I got you. I think that's what we're talking about. Hey, boy mama. Hi, all eyes. I asked you a question the other day, and I don't think I ever paid attention to your answer. So I'm just going to email you, so then that way I'll be able to track it, because you know how my brain works. Yeah, it's early, and I'm getting sick. Yes, Susan. Hi, Teresa. What's up, Scarlett? Hey, T-Dub. I thought you were already a member. Maybe you're just rejoining, but welcome. What's up, Jilly Bean? What's up, Melissa? Hi, Snappy. Karen's got her coffee. We're good to go. Hey, Judy. Shibby. Hey, Princess Buttercup. Hi, Anna. Hey, Cleveland Rocks. What's up, BGOG? Hey, Shaz. Hey, Judge Jessica. What's up, Hammy? Hi, Journey Takes a Trip. What's up, Fiend? Morning. A woman doing impossible things, but this is a woman just the tip. Just the tip. Hey, Salty C. Hi, Fluffy Bunny. Joanna. Hey, Serendipity. All right, let's see who else popped in down here. I'm going to say hi to you guys real quick, and then we'll get going. Hey, Reeker. Hi, Queen. Hi, Laura. What's up, Mary? Hi, Casey. Rexy. Hi, Tracy. Spawn Satan's still sleeping. Hey, Luke. What's up, Carla? I don't think things went well for the prosecution yesterday with the DNA. Looking forward to your assessment. Hey, Cold Truth. Good to see you. What's up, Cakey? Yeah, children, little slime balls. Jeez. The dogs are wrestling and like knocking into everything, of course, because it's morning time. What's up, Doctor? What's up, John? Hey, Samantha. Miss Always Right. I like that. Hold on, I'm going to kick these guys out. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I was thinking about this when I was going through this DNA stuff from yesterday. Yesterday there was only 2 witnesses that took the stand. Her name is Stacy Bozanovsky. I'm probably saying her last name wrong, but she's the DNA person. So she took the stand, and then Cicero took the stand. We've heard from Cicero before when in the 3-day hearing, when he came in to be the counter everything that Dawn Perlmutter had to say about the third party, and that she believed that the crime scene was ritualistic. He came in to say, no, like, this is all just blood spatter, and it's totally normal, and everything looks fine. They had him testify yesterday, which I find interesting for 2 reasons. One, there is no third party, right? So he's not counteracting anything anybody's saying. So I don't know how that bodes well for the prosecution when they bring on a witness for blood spatter that they didn't actually hire until 2024. Because they don't really have a reason in front of the jury to be hiring this guy in 2024. So I don't know if that's something that they're thinking about, or if that's just something I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, is the jury going, why did you even hire this guy in 2024? What was the point? What did you need? Like, yeah, he's trying to make it match the confessions. That's possible. That's possible. Because I was thinking, like, it doesn't really go with anything now, because he was actually testifying before for a purpose. But I also found it interesting because he does refer to the tree as an upside down L tree. But the defense can't refer to it as an F tree, right? I mean, they can't say why they think it's an F tree or what the F actually means, but he can refer to it as an upside down L tree. So I didn't really understand that. Hi, Deet. Been binging all the Delphi content. I think I've left the fence, and I'm on the not guilty side. Unless something earth-shattering comes out in these confessions, I don't know how we're even in trial. I am with you, and I absolutely agree. So some of you guys have been sending me some lovely fence memes about my fence. Here, let me see. I think did I save it on my computer? Maybe I saved it on I might have not. I may have saved it on my phone. With a bunch of broken fences is essentially what you guys are sending me, is that my fence is falling over and that I need to get the hell off of it. And I will say at this point, there's just nothing. So I was thinking about yesterday and how I can't, they don't have anything. We'll go into this real quick, but I don't want to stay on it for too long because we got a lot to go over. We've had, I think we're on witness number 27-ish. Don't quote me on the number, but we're on like 27 witnesses. We're at day number 10 of testimony. They'll have, a couple more days. Essentially probably the prosecution will probably take the rest of this week to go through confessions and all the, having the people come on that are going to take the stand, like the companions and the guards and the whatnot. So I think they'll probably take the rest of this week. But so far, if we look at who's testified, the beginning of this is just to show that the people taking the stand, like all they did was come and tell us that the girls were alive, right? The next people all came to tell us that the girls were dead. That's like kind of how the story goes through the prosecution. They're alive here, they're dead here. This is who sees them. All the processes of what they did at this crime scene and autopsy. So if you go through and you just look at who's testified and what they've testified about, how many witnesses have actually testified to anything to do with Richard Allen? And this is what I was trying to think of last night. I was like, okay, if we go look at just the witnesses and what they've testified about, we got Shank, who found the tip, the lost tip. Just the tip, woman, just the tip. You've got Doolin, who talked to Richard Allen. Okay, so you got two. You've got Mullen, Liggett, and Holman, who interview him. None of those do anything but show mere presence. So I think then you've got Oberg with the unspent round. Am I missing anybody? Because I'm like, who else has testified to have anything to do with Richard Allen? Like if I'm on the jury and I'm sitting there going, okay, the girls are alive, the girls are killed, and then Richard Allen is my defendant. Who's testified with evidence about Richard Allen? I mean, I think at this point we could determine that a crime occurred, which we knew before going into trial. But there's nothing, nobody has testified about Richard Allen. So he came forward, we found his tip, and we interviewed him and took stuff from his house. But everybody who examined the stuff from his house, which essentially is set very clear yesterday, there is no Richard Allen at the crime scene, and there's no girls at Richard Allen's. So it's actually kind of funny. So there's something like Lockhard's exchange is like as a simple principle of almost anything, but they fit it into a lot of crime. Like you can't, if you do something, if you go somewhere, there's a part of you that's left there and a part of that, wherever you are, that goes back with you. It's just a very simple exchange principle. Like if I'm here, if I'm in my office, something from my office is going to come with me, whether it be, skin cells or whatever that I'm going to leave behind. There's always an exchange. So it's funny because the second person testifying yesterday was Cicero, and apparently he was talking about that, according to Andrea. And I was like, I'm really surprised they have this guy up here talking about this right after they have the DNA lady who just said there is no exchange. There's zero exchange. And he's up here talking to the jury about what that principle means. And they're going to go, what? Wait, if there's always an exchange, then how in the hell There was no exchange. Nothing is found of Richard Allen at the crime scene. Nothing is found of the girls with anything to do with Richard Allen. Most specifically, the car. So unless we're going to go like with the theory of like a Brian Koberger where he wraps the whole thing in plastic, or he wraps his body in plastic, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really understand. I don't understand what they have. We're going with this random unspent round that they can't even prove has anything to do with the crime scene. That's it. That's legit it. That's it. And his mere presence, the fact that he says he was there at some point. Def Otter. Daybell had no DNA, but he had them in his backyard though. Okay, so that's an interesting point. But if you go with the simple fact that there was DNA found of Lori, number one, two, they've made it really clear that they don't think Chad Daybell actually had anything to do with the murders. That he was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, which essentially in Idaho is the same thing. But they don't, not necessarily does he have to have his DNA on the bodies, because that doesn't mean he actually touched them. Because you've got Alex, who is doing most of the work there. So, I don't know. It was just something, as I was going through this, I was thinking about it. I was like, we have all these days of testimony about with all these people, and they proved a crime has been committed, without a doubt. They've proved the girls were murdered. But they just have not proved that Richard Allen had anything to do with anything. But I'm also not on the jury, so. I think she's falling. Oh, I know, Def Otter. I'm just it's good. It's a good point though. It's good conversation. I mean, because that's why I brought up Brian Koberger, because we know that he goes, he's alleged to have gone into the house and killed 4 people, and according to what we know so far, they didn't find any blood DNA in his car that he supposedly took to the crime scene, because it's caught on video. So we're going. I think that they're going to come down to these stupid confessions. People are going to be like, "It's not." Oh, I did save it on here. Hold on, I'll show you guys. This is what one of you funny people sent. Said this was my fence now. There you go. And hi everybody that's popped in that I didn't get a chance to say hi to individually. Yeah, you get, this is funny. They said this is now my fence. Oh shit. Oh, hey Gam. They said Richard's phone data doesn't connect him, but what if Kathy's phone connects him? Just throwing ideas, not medicated today. Forgive me, you're so silly. I'm not going to forgive you, but it's a great point. But I would think that when they had Cecil, who's talking about Richard Allen's phones, I think it was Cecil who was up there, who was saying they did not find the 2017 phone. You'd think that they would have had him testify to anything to do with the if it was anybody's phone at this time. They're not bringing in geofencing, right? We haven't heard anybody that's coming in to testify about. I mean, at this point, if you're going with the storyline of the timing of the investigation, right, and that's what the prosecution's presenting to us. Let's think of, if you were going to put somebody up there for fog reveal, geofencing, whatever terminology you want to use, wouldn't you have had them up there to at least show the jury first Richard Allen's in the area before you show the jury the crime scene stuff? I don't know. I doubt it. I think we've got these. I think my opinion is we've got these videos from the interrogation/interviews, and then we've got the confessions with the people who are going to come up. I don't think we have anybody else testifying. You guys think there's anybody else to testify? It's eliminate out. Hey, Jer. Hi, Mar. Hi, Sunshine. The only phone he had was the one he got from KK that morning in Peru. I think he says he was in Mexico, but he would have had to have gone through Peru. They have 23 other devices. We don't know if they're all phones. Also, I have old phones, but rarely any old phones because I typically now trade it in. I don't think that's sus. I agree with you. I always tell me I have a ton of old phones, and I don't even know why. Like, they're really, I don't even need them. Confessions without evidence are just rumors. Convicting anyone on something less there's zero proof of is insane. I don't disagree with you. But like, that's why I said we're not on the jury. So there's also comes to the point where, and I've said this on other lives, we're watching from the outside. We don't even get to sit in there. We don't get to see it. So we don't know how well certain information is being delivered. And sometimes that changes, even subconsciously changes how people receive the information. If they like the person that's talking, if they understand the person that's talking, the information will be received better. So if the jury happens to really like Nick and really like Holman, then their information could be getting absorbed in a way like, okay, I have a feeling that I trust these people. You know, I have an instinct that I trust these people. And I'm not saying that they should sit down and be like, well, I got this gut feeling. What I'm saying is subconsciously people they're drawn to people. I think there's really intelligent people on the jury, but we just don't have that. We don't have that information besides what we're hearing from other people inside the courtroom. Yeah, she doesn't even want us to hear it. Well, hopefully, I know Andrea's working on that. Andrea Burkhart's working on trying to get us the audio. I'd be interested if she's able to do it. Other than that, we're gonna have to count on the transcripts, and the transcripts are gonna take forever. I've never even gotten the rest of the 3-day hearing transcripts yet. So, all right, let's talk. So we're gonna spend most of today talking about the DNA lady because we've heard from Cicero before. His testimony really hasn't changed much from the testimony we've actually read through transcripts on this channel. So if you want to go back and watch what he's had to say, essentially he thinks that the blood on the tree is transfer from Libby holding onto her wounds and touching the tree. He thinks that she died closer to where the F upside down L tree is, and that she was moved or she moved. I don't know exactly how he was going with that one, but over to where she was found. Hi, C-Dub. We didn't do last night, yeah. So we just didn't. The timing just didn't work out to try to squeeze a live in. So I was just like, screw it, we'll do it in the morning. Where was that? Okay, Cicero. So, and he thinks that Abby was most likely killed where she was found, and that she wasn't moved. So he thinks that it probably took her 5 to 10 minutes to pass away. She does not. Her hands are very clean. So that means she does not reach for her neck when she's bleeding, or that she's washed afterward. But that doesn't make any sense. So I mean, I guess they could dip her hands in and clean them, but essentially he thinks that she was killed where she was found, and that Libby moved from one area to the other. He said that the biggest part of his testimony is that he thinks that it was transfer from Libby touching herself and going up against the tree. Hi, Trev. Confessions are evidence, unfortunately. They can put you on death row. I agree. And I think that's kind of the whole point of everything that we were talking about. What we have heard is, like Sleuthy was saying, is to try to get the testimonies to match what his confessions are with this box cutter bullshit, which should have been stricken in my opinion, because there was no scientific evidence supporting that, just him playing around in my garage. But we also have the defense hasn't had their case yet. They have not been able to present their witnesses. So we're far from done. I just think up to this point, I think it's interesting. I don't. What do you think about them using the Reed technique? This is like the Reed technique was such a big deal in the Watts case. It's like something we like researched forever because of this stupid thing. I don't have a problem with the Reed technique, but the thing is with the Reed technique is it's created to elicit a confession, and the problem becomes false confessions that are given based on the Reed technique. But I'm saying I don't have a problem with the Reed technique here. They didn't get him to confess, so Jerry Holman isn't very good at it. He walks out of this interview / interrogation, but doesn't confess. He holds steady to go ahead, get all your evidence together and arrest me because you're fucking wrong. Like, I didn't do it. So Jerry Holman obviously was not very effective at the Reed technique. So that's why I'm like, I don't have a problem with it. I understand its purpose. I just think it's not used correctly. And I think that no matter when you have a confession, this is like a thing I tell people all the time. Right now I can walk into a police station and say, hey, I killed my neighbors and I did it and they're dead. They can't arrest me and just take me to trial. That's not how it works. They can detain me, go and find evidence that matches what I just said. Now, if they come over and my neighbors are alive, then that doesn't even make any sense, right? Like, okay, but you didn't kill your neighbors, Tree, so they're right there. Now, if my neighbors are dead, they still have to find evidence that matches what I just said, that I did it. That's the thing. It's like there's more information. So the Reed technique by itself should not be the end all be all. These confessions should not be the end all be all. You should have supporting evidence that says, look, this is the evidence. This is what they confessed to. Come on. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with it. So either way, it doesn't really matter because Holman's not good at it. He didn't even get a confession, whether it be false or real. I'll be very honest, Mar. I unsubbed to a bunch of channels. I just bounced, dude. I was like, I'm not going to deal with the stress and the assholes. So I just fucking bounced. All right. Somebody asked what the fence picture is. So for this case, I've sat on the fence. And so one of you guys sent me this picture of my fence falling over as a joke. Like, Teresa, this is your fence now. So that's what the fence picture is. Okay. Michael Osbrook had said and confirmed many times that even if a motion to suppress is denied, it's still up to the jury to determine if the confession was involuntary or coerced. The language of that instruction is key. Right. I wasn't going to call you out, but yeah, it was Joanna. Joanna sent me that. His psychosis / confessions shouldn't be admissible, period, just like they can't interview someone under the influence. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to, but that's just not. That's what people are like. He was faking the psychosis. He was faking it. And I'm like, they prescribed him medication. So he was diagnosed. He was absolutely diagnosed. And so if you really think he was faking it, these fucking doctors should have their licenses revoked because you're faking it. All right, who cares? Who gives a shit? Here, let's fucking throw you some medication. Yeah, I bounced from a lot of them. Done. What T just described is the corpus delicti doctrine. Initially, that doctrine required a body for there to be a murder conviction. Now it requires at least one piece of evidence. We have tacos and Dr. Pepper here. Get off the fence. Get over here where the tacos and the Dr. Pepper are. She did. She done snitched on herself. I just Reed techniqued her. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I totally Reed techniqued Joanna. Nobody even realized it was happening. Oh, shit. Okay. Hold on. Deeth says, I listened to some live, some guy that was putting blame on the family, even on 2 times speed. He was so slow, it was torture, but I wanted to hear the other opinions. I like to hear people that are in the courtroom, but I'm now at the point where there's so much bullshit. I was listing it in my Delphi chat yesterday. I was going through like, okay, all this stuff that we've heard from so many people that was going to be evident. Oh, you're going to wait till trial and this is going to be evidence. You're going to see it when it comes to trial and you're going to see this evidence. I mean, let's talk about motorcycle covers and blood in the Weber's garage. And what else was there? Cat. Oh, the cat got dug up. And there's cat hair that matches. They're going to find it on the girls. You're going to hear about it at trial. You guys just wait. You're going to hear about that cat and how they dug it up in Richard Allen's backyard. And how it matches hair, the animal hair found on the girls. I mean, just so much bullshit. So much bullshit with a claim of inside sources, and I know this information and it's factual. I'm just like, I can't listen to those people anymore. I can't listen to that. I'm done. So I mean, there's still, don't get me wrong, there's still a ton of channels I am subscribed to, but I'm just done listening to that kind of shit. I can't do it anymore. Not when we're literally at trial. Like, we're at trial. Why are you still out here trying to spin some bullshit that we know isn't real when we're literally at trial right now? Talking to Nancy Grace. Yeah. Wonder what she thinks about her cat hair now. Salute these arch nemesises. Let's see. Mad about my. Let's see. We may still hear something because lawyer Lee said that they hinted to there being some kind of bombshell for the prosecution. Okay, so I did not finish lawyer Lee's. I literally only went through DNA on all these channels. I didn't go through everybody's ending, which is when Nick yesterday asked for. All right, hold on. Not too many Delphi projects. Oh, now it's not going to fucking load. Of course not. Why would it? Hi, DB. Hi, Judy. Right. Okay. So anyway, at the end of the day, Nick put in a motion that he wants to bring in the Google searches. Now, I did read this in one of the articles, and I also watched it on Andrea's. Like I said, on the other ones I was watching, I was only listening for DNA just to get some verification on things I had. But he's requesting like specific information from these Google searches. And one of the news articles said that the Google searches are from October of 2022. Did you guys hear that? Because I should be getting some clarification on that. Like, that's where I need to go look for clarification on if these Google searches are from October of 2022. Did you guys hear that? Hey, Puffy Joe, thank you for being here. Nancy Koberger Grace. Yeah, don't look at my Google shit. Yeah, from October of 2022 is what I was hearing. Okay. Well, if we didn't get a date, I mean, they're interrogating him and searching his house regarding Libby and Abby. So I don't know why there wouldn't be Google searches about the case if you're searching my house in connection. Yeah, exactly. If those fucking dates come up in these Google searches, I'm gonna just choke. Like, what? If they're Google searching the case between October 13th and October 26th, or anywhere after October 13th, why wouldn't they be searching it? No matter who it is, Richard Allen or the fucking man on the moon. You search my house, I'm going to end up trying to figure out what the hell you're doing it. We don't know. I don't know that, but I'm just saying this is kind of what the general idea is if they're talking about October. Now, did somebody do a Google search for the case October 1st just to see if there was any updates? I also am not sure I'd be too surprised about that when the Wabash River search was going on in connection to the Delphi case. And let's see, Kathy and Rick would have to drive by this search in order to get to either of their parents' houses or her siblings' house. So I'm not really sure. We did hear some speculation. Oh Jesus. There was leaked searches? What you talking about, Willis? Is that a funny, or is that something I should seriously be looking at? Don't be looking at how many times I've searched Delphi. You're going to convict me. Okay, so this is what we've referred to as the leaked thumb drive map. It's posted on my Twitter. Okay, I'll go look, DB. This is back towards the beginning of the case when the defense was starting to, it's like for real. When the defense was starting to get their evidence from discovery from the prosecutor's office, they were making a map of exactly what was where. Like, here's the file, so on and so forth. This was accidentally sent to a guy named Brandon Woodhouse, who that's a whole nother. I'm not just a guy named Brandon Woodhouse. We'll just go with that. And as soon as they realized it was sent, they said, "Hey, Brandon, like, we didn't mean to send that to you. Can you please get rid of it? Like, make sure, like, delete it." Well, Brandon Woodhouse doesn't delete it, and he ends up sharing it with somebody online. And then some of it starts getting posted. Well, there is this one here. Let me see if I can zoom in enough to show you guys. Here it is. So the Google preservation letters on these usernames. Can you guys see that? Yeah, okay. So I'll just say I'm logged in on my computer, like this computer here in my office. This has all my login stuff, right? If somebody came in to do any type of Google searches or whatnot, it's logged in under, I think it's actually logged in under criminality right now. But I also have like my Teresa one, like I have two, but my computer's logged into me. If I go to my husband's desk, it's his computer and it's logged in under him. So if I go do Google searches, it's going to be logged in under him. This reminds me of Casey Anthony with the dang how to make chloroform searches, and then Cindy Anthony taking the stand and saying that she was the one who made these random searches about that was supposed to be about chlorophyll. It wasn't about chloroform and blah, blah, blah. But what happened is Nick goes and says, "Hey, I want to bring in these Google searches that were done under these accounts." Okay, great. But then the defense pops up and is like, "Hey, we can prove that he wasn't the only one who had, he's not the only one who had access to these emails or these Google accounts. His wife could access them. And that we have Kathy Allen, who's going to testify that she also had access to them." So they'd have to make sure they'd go through. I mean, the only way a prosecution can make it even show that it was Richard Allen, if it's outside of this weird window of where they're searching his house regarding the crime, is if they can prove like she's at work and he's the only one home. Like, they're going to have to go further than that. Yeah, I heard October 2022. I'm like, why wouldn't they be searching it then? And like I said, I'm not even sure that the beginning of October 2022 is going to be a big deal when they're driving by the Wabash River search. Every time they're going to anybody's house, any of their relatives' house, they have to drive by that. So anyway, so here's your Google stuff. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what a Fujakeo. I don't know why they chose this. Okay, so let me go to Twitter real quick, and then we're gonna go back to the DNA. Where are you, DB? This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real? Is this real, DB? No way. You did this. Prosecutor Nick McClellan does an unofficial press release asking for Richard Allen's Google search history to be admitted into the trial. I have heard this was going to come in as super serious evidence for 2 years. This is so dumb. You made this. I am showing it. Why is Steve Mullen still employed? I can't. Is Jerry Holman really a cop? Should I get an attorney? Good attorneys in Delphi. Yeah, that's a good one. Is it bad to lie about a difference in height of 2 inches? Oh, it's realistic. It's not real. It's realistic. The Monon hybrid. You definitely have to Google that. Yeah. Best get rich penny stocks. How does support Horde for Sheriff? Oh, Jesus criminy. This shit's funny. I believe that is super real. I saw it on Twitter. Read Hammy's comments on DB's tweet. Okay, hold on. So dumb. I love this one, though. Why is Steve Mullen still employed? How's that guy even have a fucking job? All right. Oh. Shit. Deer Creek fish. Unseasonably warm day today. That's a good one. That's a good one. That definitely needs to be in there. The shack ending explained. I can't even read these. Judge Siegel in Indiana. Odinism for dummies. That one's important. That one's really, really important. Fuck, how to park backwards. Oh, shit. Do I need a gun to go mushroom hunting? I can't. This is so dumb. Oh my gosh, my stomach hurts. Okay. Kara comes into house mom took her signs. Oh shit. Oh shit. She's got Jen McCabe search right here. And he's gonna retire as soon as this trial's done. Oh shit, here's Sleuth. How long does it take to test evidence? Why did it take Indiana 7.5 years to work a case? When is rabbit hunting season in Indiana? Oh shit. Oh shit. R&M played it last night. Hold on, let's see.
Right here we have Rick Allen's.
It's leaked.
Oh my god.
Okay, hold on. I like Indiana Girl says, dude, there's something wrong with you. All right, hold on, Hammy. Did you do more up here? Oh, fucking Luke. Does Apple stocks work in a woods? In a woods? Does Apple stocks work in the woods? Oh shit. Viking season 1, where to watch. You guys, this is so silly. Stick Nation, important. That's an important one. Oh man, anybody who's just coming in, this is all just for funsies at this point. Like, just know that this is not the real Google searches. They're just, according to DB, they're the realistic Google searches, not the real ones. Is the one anything? That's good question. Good question there. Face tattoo stick and poke. Face tattoo removal. Because Richard Allen had a face tattoo. He had to get rid of it. He had to get rid of it before anybody noticed. Reddit Delphi acronyms RABGFSG. What the fuck do those mean? What is a murder sheet? It's a great question. That's a great question. Michael Osbrook's phone number. Average male height in the USA. Right. It goes with the, is it okay to change it by 2 inches? Shoe lifts online. Yeah. That's the Telus trial right there. That's the Telus trial. Solitaire online. The U.S. Constitution explained. What can and can't judges do? Ooh, fishing license renewal. Definitely had to look that one up. What is coke dealer hair? Am I beautiful quiz online? I don't. Are these Nick searches now? Are these Nick's? Are we in Nick searches? Did we switch over and I missed it? I feel like these are Nick searches. Oh shit! All right. I don't even know, man. I'm fucking dead at the. I think these are Nick's. These definitely have to be Nick's. What can and can't judges do? Yeah, for sure. He definitely needs to know that one. Great. Now that you know the next leaked ones are going to be fucking Nick's. Nick's are coming. The witness said that the bridge guy was beautiful. Rick Allen is not beautiful. I know many people think I'm in love with Richard Allen, but I do not think he's beautiful. All right. Shit. Fucking Twitter. Which Harry Potter Hogwarts house are you? Oh shit. If we had to do that, oh my god. This is how I get sidetracked, is by funny shit like that. But if we had to sit here and put all these people in a Hogwarts house, and I think Nick's going to Slytherin, no? Oh, we're very serious investigators. Yes. Yes, you are. Yeah, see, I think Nick's going to Slytherin. What about Rosie? I think Ajay's going to like Hufflepuff. But she's moving her way up to like Gryffindor. She's working on it. She's trying to get reassigned. That is why we come to you. Andrea and Bob for the legal stuff. You were the fun and the deep dives and the analyzing. Well, that's good. At least I'm here for something. A Ravenclaw. Okay, so DNA. Let's go. We'll go with the short version of it. Anybody who doesn't know what happened in court yesterday, when Stacy Bozanovsky took the stand, she went through all the stuff that was found, all the stuff that was tested, what her results were for testing everything, and then at the end of her testimony on direct, she told the jury that there was no Richard Allen DNA found at the crime scene, and there's no Abby and Libby DNA found on anything of Richard Allen's. That's the end-all be-all to her testimony when it comes to this case, is really that. But we're going to go through, I have everything by line item, the best that I could based on what people reported yesterday. And see if I can make this bigger for you guys. Can you guys see that okay? I think that, yeah, definitely she who shall not be named. Clues in the helicopter footage of the search. Watch closely at the two searchers in the red uniforms. I think they're finding the clothing. I think they find the additional clothing, not the tie-dye shirt clothing. I think they're the ones who find like the socks and all that. But you can see them searching. But in that helicopter footage, the girls are already found. So you're still blind, but carry on. Okay, well, I'll make it bigger. If you can't see it, I want you guys to be able to see it. I mean, I can scroll back and forth. Oh, I didn't even know we had closing arguments yet. Do we even? I mean, I don't even think the prosecution's rested. Defense hasn't gone at all. No closing arguments. I don't think the jury's even started to deliberate. But that's an interesting comment, since we're not quite there. But all the bombshells, where are they? No, Hunter's blocked. So, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of trolls that will make other accounts just to come in and say stupid stuff. But I'll do my best to, and the mods are in here, they can get rid of the bullshit. Okay, so how I kind of have this in here, but to make it so that it's bigger for you guys, I'll kind of have to just scroll around. But so I have, this is Libby's clothing that she was, like, this was what she went to the bridge with. So that's how the beginning of it is. And then it's Libby's body, what was swabbed from her body. Anybody who gets a little squeamish or doesn't like any of this kind of talk, it's going to be very, very point blank. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It is what it is. But so if this is not something that you like to listen to or care to listen to, this is probably a good time for you guys to exit, just FYI. And then the next I have is Abby's clothing, what she went to the bridge with. And then Abby's body, and then the crime scene stuff, that's the miscellaneous crime scene information. Okay, so that's how it is in the spreadsheet. Can I get rid of like all of this? You guys know I'm not that super tech savvy. Can I make it so I can just show you this? Yes, you can have access to the spreadsheet for sure. But can I make it so that I can just show you this? Does anybody know that? Without like, oh, you guys don't need all this other shit, and I just want to show you this. How do I do that? Somebody tell me how to do that. Go to view. Okay. I'm so stupid. Is it like just is that simple? Like just like this? I don't want to show a formula bar, right? Full screen. Oh, fucking A. Presentation mode. I think this works. This is better. Hide ribbon. This is good, right? Okay. That's better. Just waiting for you guys to tell me. Okay. So how I have it is, this is, like I said, this is Libby's, this is what Libby went to the bridge with. So she's like, I'm just going to go through the very first one so you guys can kind of get the idea of it as we read through each line. So this is Libby's jeans, which is the Maurice jeans. It's item number 30 for the lab. It's a lab item number. The next one you can see, I don't have a lab number, so it has the exhibit number. If I don't have a number, it's blank. So you can see that. So Libby's Maurice jeans, where they were found, which was on Abby. The DNA, there was 10 cuttings, 2 swabs, and fibrous material found. Under the DNA type, which is going to be blood, semen, saliva, skin cells, hair. That's your DNA type. Like, what are they getting the DNA from? The result that she says she has from what was found on this item, and then any reasoning that she has for why that was found. Okay, so any questions kind of on how that is so you guys can see it? And yeah, like I said, you guys have access to this. I don't know how to share it now that I did whatever I did to make it bigger, but I'll make sure that you guys, Sleuthy has it. Sleuthy, you can actually drop the link. You have it in your messenger. So if you want to drop it. Okay, and then you guys can also, like, if you wanted just to take the information, and say you wanted to do it just by the item numbers, by the the lab item number, you guys, you're welcome to do whatever you want. This is just, and this is information I got from I'll tell you who I watched. Who all did you send me, Joanna? Andrea, Bob, and Allie for some of it. Bob didn't really want to go too much into the detail of it. Tom Webster, who was only there for about an hour and a half in the morning, got his. Lawyer Lee's, WTHR, and the Wish TV. I feel like I'm missing one, and if I figure out who it is, then I'll let you know. But that's essentially, I try to just get as much verified info as I could and put it in here. But I'm not in court. So if there's a mistake on here, I don't, I'm human, one, and two, I'm not in court. So I'm giving you the best that I can. So we'll just go through like line item by line item. So her genes, so Libby's genes are found on Abby. Stacy took 10 cuttings, 2 swabs, and there was fibrous material. So one of the things we have to talk about is what is possible blood and why it needs to be confirmed. So most of these types of tests, what happens is there's a preemptive test that's like, okay, here, if I take these samples and I send them into the lab, but I don't know if they all have blood on them, right? I just think they might have blood on them. So I send them over, and then the lab tech will go through, and she'll do a presumptive test to see if it tests positive for blood. Like, it's just presumptive. It doesn't mean that it is blood. It's just presumptive. Like, okay, so it's possible blood, or so possible. I'm going to send it over so that they can actually test it. There's more. If there's not possible blood, that gets put into a different pile and not sent over to be tested. It makes it so that it's more cost efficient, is really what it is, because it's way cheaper to do the presumptive test than it is to actually do the DNA test. So people are like, that's just like a waste of time. But most all of this type of forensic data is run like that. It's like presumptive, yes, no, then goes to get confirmed. So here we have like possible blood on the genes. So, but if we go over to the result, the confirmatory test says it was not blood. You see what I'm saying? So like you can see that if I say possible blood versus actual blood, you're going to see a difference in the result. Because possible blood was that it was presumptive for blood, went over, got tested, and it was not confirmed to actually be blood. You also are going to hear that with the semen, and we're going to talk about that when we get there. I know a lot of people have questions about that from everything that happened yesterday. So possible blood on the 10 cuttings and the swabs, right? And then there was a hair with a root. The hair with root is called a fibrous material. So that's why I put it, that's under what the DNA is, and then the DNA type is a hair with a root. So if you see fibrous material, you're going to have an explanation for what that fibrous material ends up being. So fibrous material, hair with a root. So here we have the confirmatory test said there was no blood. The hair was insufficient for DNA. One of the cuttings had Abby's DNA. Now, I know this gets confusing, so I'm trying to break it down as simple as I possibly can. Just because it's not blood doesn't mean there's not some other type of DNA. You still got skin cells, saliva. You've got other reasons to have DNA. Just that DNA that was presumptive was not blood, but doesn't mean that there's not going to be DNA on it of some other kind. So the one cutting had Abby's DNA. 2 of the cuttings had a mix of Abby's DNA along with a lab tech. This one wasn't made a very big deal of, which I am surprised. So a lab tech was also found on the jeans. They tested the button, the zipper, that was insufficient. They swabbed the crotch area of the pants, and the main source was Libby, and the minor source was Abby. So her reasoning behind all this is it was heavily stained with dirt. It was contaminated by a lab tech or a CSI LE. They determined that anybody who was like ISP that also was CSI is also put into this database of employees for that. Okay. If you guys have questions, stop me because I want to make sure that I can answer them. Oh, criminal network. Jesus. So the next item is Libby's sweatshirt, the swimming sweatshirt. The Delphi swimming sweatshirt that is ultimately found on Abby. I did not get an item number, but here's the exhibit number. I don't even know if you guys care about that, but that was just for my tracking purposes. So she took 11 cuttings, three swabs from the front pocket, the cuff, and the sleeve, and there was fibrous material that was found. Is it not just read-only on the access? VR, can you check it and tell me if it's read-only? Because otherwise I gotta get out of all this and go back and fix it. I don't want to do that right now. So somebody just tell me if it is. So 11 cuttings, 3 swabs from the pocket, the cuff, the sleeve, and there was fibrous material found. So there was blood and hair on the sweatshirt. 8 of the cuttings matched Abby. 3 of the cuttings mix of Abby and Libby. The hair was insufficient to get DNA. DNA on the cuff. Thank you, Andy. The DNA on the cuff matched Abby. Mix on the other 2 swabs, and they cannot be determined how many profiles were there. So that could be 2, 3, 4. She was not able to determine. It was just a mixture and not enough to be able to separate the DNA out. Her reasoning behind it was because it was dirty, soiled, had sand on it, but she did use an alternate light source to try to figure it out. The sweatshirt went through a second round of testing, and she took 22 swabs from the front of the hoodie, avoiding the blood. The reason for this is, and it's going to come up later when we go through some of the other things, is because the blood will override anything. So if the sweatshirt has blood and somebody had touched it, the DNA from the blood is going to override any type of like skin cell or saliva or anything like that. So she wanted to swab all the areas that didn't have the blood. So she took 22 swabs of the front of it. This was a later test that she had done. This was the one that comes up. 1 swab was a mix of 3. Yeah, Andy, anything that you have that you want to fill in, feel free. Or send me an email, whatever works for you. My email is criminality187@gmail. So I appreciate I appreciate that comment even more. So on there, this is the unknown male that they talk about that they got a profile for, and they actually put it into CODIS. And so they thought they had like the guy. But so they put it in CODIS, but they didn't actually, there was no lab tech that matched at that time. So later, when they figured out it was a lab tech, they removed it from CODIS. I don't understand this. I don't even understand how it got to CODIS to begin with, why it wasn't matched to the lab tech right off the bat. I just don't understand that. So now it takes me back to all of the times where you have like Kim Riley, who was talking and saying like, you know, the person doesn't have any criminal history. We know that. It's like, okay, are you talking about this dude now? This lab tech? He doesn't have a criminal history? Well, good. That's good to know. So that's 2 big ones. So on the sweatshirt and on the jeans, there is male DNA of one of the lab techs. So my question was, and nobody had an answer for this in any of the lives that I watched, and so maybe somebody here heard it. Is it the same lab tech? Did they match the unknown male lab tech from the sweatshirt to the unknown male lab tech from the jeans? Hi, Steve. You guys, make sure you guys are subscribed to True Crime Web, especially as he goes over any of this kind of stuff, because this is like his forte. I had this exact blood override scenario on an airbag. Only when a blood-free area was swabbed was the offender identified. Very interesting. Yeah. Can one of the mods make sure you guys drop Steve's channel, because this is going to be top-notch info coming straight from somebody who knows all of this stuff firsthand. Blood is very, very weak source of DNA unless significant amount of white blood cells in the person's whole blood. Human red blood cells shed their nucleus shortly after formation. Blood is not automatic DNA, right? Because red blood cells don't carry your DNA. Hollis says, my theory, 2 killers, 1 is female, which helps keep the girls semi-calm and makes getting them off the bridge quietly and quickly. I'm actually at the point where I think that it's probably closer to 2 at this point too now. And I was always a firm one person. If it was Richard Allen, it was one person. Well, I don't even think, I'm at the point where they definitely have not proved it was Richard Allen by any means. Yeah, they can be suspects. Absolutely, they can be suspects. Yeah, do lab techs wear their patches? Who knows? Yeah, but do we know, Andy, do we know if it's the same lab tech? That's my question. Is it the same lab tech for the pants and that? Pants and the sweatshirt. Same lab tech, 2 different lab techs. And then they got a warning to, wear more protection. Everyone knew there was no DNA going into trial. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. I wouldn't say everyone, because there were many people who were still saying that we were going to get some type of DNA hit. We had arguments happening, right? We've had arguments happening since trial started about this fucking cat. And that the cat was going to match DNA. So, yes and no. Anybody who was trusting more of the defense was very sure that we weren't going to have, this was not going to be a DNA case. A lot of people that were very pro-prosecution were like, just wait and see. Yeah, the lab person testified she was the only one to examine it, so definitely leaning towards ISP. Yeah, and I put that on here just so that it's either the lab tech or a CSI law enforcement, because they're under the same umbrella when it comes to that. Okay. So nothing on Libby's bra. I cannot figure out. Somebody in chat tell me that you guys have this answer outside of the Frank's memo, that somewhere in trial there's been testimony about which bra is whose. We know that Abby's wearing 2. We were told in the Frank's memo that one of them was Libby's. In the trial now, currently, have they determined which bra was Libby's and if one even was? Because I have not heard that. Nobody has said that. I've not heard anybody report on the fact that, yes, 100%, this is Libby's bra and it was on Abby. And which one is it? So as of right now, I don't know where the hell it is. So the item, I don't even have it found because I don't know which one it is or if it was even part of it. Now, Libby's underwear is missing. We learned that a pair of underwear and a sock were missing from Ron Logan's search warrant. Yeah, that should be like the easiest fucking things. Like, how do we not know that yet? And then if that's the case, and both of those other bras are Abby's, then where the hell is Libby's bra? Do you see what I'm saying here? Libby's tie-dye shirt was found in the creek. It did have a hair on it, but it failed the quantification process, and there was no results. Then we have the Nikes. The right Nike being found under Abby. It had blood and hair. And this is where the animal hair comes in, which does not surprise me that they have animal hair on their shoes. They're out walking in wildlife, where wildlife is. So okay, so that's a good point, Ivy. What size was the black cami that was found in the water? Does anybody know that? Hey, True Crime Junkie. I agree with you there. And I'm going to skip to this just because you're in chat now, and I don't want you to leave before I have an opportunity to ask you. What do you think about the fact that they kept some of the hairs for later testing, for technology advancements, versus using the technology that we have now since we have somebody at trial? Do you find that to be like common? Like, is that something that we should be doing? Like, it's like keeping evidence that there is a way to test, even if it's not the most efficient way, in hopes that we're going to just wait until later and then we're going to retest it. But if Richard Allen is convicted, why would anybody be retesting it later when technology is improved? Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm trying to figure out why they would have decided to do that. It was a large 10 to 12. An extra large. Okay, hold on. Let me write that down. Oh, I swear to gosh. Woman doing just the tip. I hope that that's not true. I hope they didn't do fucking IGG on the lab tech. Oh my gosh, you think they spent 20 grand to get to figure out that it was the lab tech? Oh shit. Oh my god, that would not surprise me. It was a large 10-12. Okay. Oh my god. Hi, Julie. They probably did. They probably did fucking spend 20K on ISP DNA. Probably fucking Holman's. Probably Holman's DNA. I don't really think it's Holman's. That was a joke. I also think IgG was probably to determine the lab tech. Oh, I didn't even think about that until right now with you guys. Did Steve answer by chance? There's a ton of circumstance. That's where you gotta fill me in then, because right now at trial, I don't even think they've presented what we even thought was circumstantial before, outside of the unspent round. And we'll have to wait for the confessions, because they're not, obviously there's still more, but I mean, I felt like we had more speculation on what was going to be the circumstantial evidence than they've even presented. That's why nobody wants to talk about the IgG. Yeah, we don't want to spend the money to have any of this other shit tested, because we realized we really fucked up and spent some money in places we shouldn't have. Tara says no, they didn't do IgG. Well, they have an expense for 20K on IgG. So I hope that they did it if they were putting 20K in a bracket for doing it. Otherwise, we've got other issues, right? Hey, Bonnie, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Don't forget the $1 million on the Wabash search. Wabash search. Blah blah blah. I'd be curious if any of the guns and weapons that they found in that Wabash search ever gave them closure to any other crime to at least make it worth it. Saw one of the news reporters say it was the cigarette butt. Okay, let's keep it. I'll put that down into my questions. IGG. I haven't heard anybody say that, so. I swear there's got to be some laundry getting done around there with all this money. 15 comments before Bonnie's donation. Thank you. Thank you. I don't agree with their strategy. We are talking about a man's life, all or nothing, and let future technology find new DNA. That's a good point. I mean, if you're waiting for new tech, let it figure out if there's even any other DNA that you missed on all this other stuff that you tested and didn't consume. Yeah, CODIS is the criminal database. Okay, let's keep going. Some of this stuff, like I said, I'm not going to go through all of it, but you guys have access to it. The mods have been dropping the link if you guys want it, or you want to like reorganize it into a way that it works better for you. Have at it. So we have the tie-dye T-shirt. We went through that one. The right Nike. This is the one found under Abby. It did have DNA for Abby, which not surprising. It was under Abby. Now, the interesting one is the one that's found in the creek also has DNA for Abby. Remember, the Nikes are Libby's, but they swabbed it and got Abby's DNA. They had one that was a mixture, and 3 others that they didn't have enough, and there wasn't enough to test it. So both the Nikes have Abby's DNA on them. Now, here's my other questions. It comes into these freaking socks. We keep getting testimony about 2 socks, one black, one pink, found in the creek. We don't know. We've never even gotten confirmation that those socks even belong to the girls. So I'm struggling with that to begin with. And then we were told that only 1 sock was missing, but nobody's testified to finding another fucking sock anywhere. So it's like this 3rd sock just doesn't exist. I don't understand this. I know it's like not the important, but for me, I'm just like, where the hell is it? And why have we always been told there was 1 sock missing? When now we have 1 black sock and 1 pink sock missing. And we don't even know that they're the fucking girl socks. So I have no idea if any of those are Libby socks. So I just put question marks here. And then when we go to the socks that are found in the creek, I have them under the crime scene. Now, this is for the autopsy where the rape kit is done and all the swabs that are taken from Libby. This is just Libby's. So under the rape kit, there's a whole list of everything that happens in a rape kit, and I did not put all of that on here. Just the major ones that were kind of reported on. But if you want to look up, like, you can go look up exactly what they do during a rape kit. So on this vaginal swab, there was possible semen. Remember, we were talking about all these presumptive tests and whatnot, and then they have to go in and actually confirm it. So they thought possible semen, but when they tested it, there was no Y chromosome. So this is problematic because it can be seminal fluid without semen, and I don't know if they have a way to test that or if they even use that way to test it if they have one. So I'm very confused by this, and I don't know if there was any even more explanation given in testimony. So ultimately, they deem it inconclusive, which, somebody could have had a vasectomy, so they have seminal fluid, but they don't actually have semen. Somebody could be sterile. somebody this morning brought up a good point that it could be a prepubescent that doesn't have semen yet, because you get your semen during puberty. But I don't even know if there was ever any follow-up to say, like, was it just seminal fluid? Or if there's even a way to figure that out. So I'm still kind of stumped on that. I have a question there. So then there was an external genital swab that was done. And on that, they actually found, on one of the swabs that was taken, thank you, am I saying it incorrectly? Thank you. Yes, seminal fluid and not sperm. Thank you. Thank you for correcting my terminology. Sometimes I just go through all of it. So on the outside, on the external genital swab, they found unknown male DNA. This is where she says Sleuthy is correct. Of course Sleuthy is correct. She's Sleuthy. You're welcome. I Googled it. I find it extremely strange so much unknown male DNA was found from numerous swabs. Me too. And then it's just chalked up to, oh, well, they live with men, so who cares? And like the same thing even with the female hairs. Like, well, they live with women, and this is a woman's shirt, and you guys are women, so we don't need to test any of that. Oh, it's crazy to me. I hope the jury's going like, what are you guys doing? Something to say that's not true. The only clothes that Abby had on that weren't hers were the jeans and the hoodie. She had her own shirt, bras. Pretty sure. The bras I cannot figure out. I cannot get clarification. Where if they're both her bras, and then maybe the cami is supposed to be Libby's bra. They never say it. I don't have a clear picture. But it's a good point. She does have most of her own clothes on. Well, not most. She has her shoes and her shirt and her bras. So, not to skip too far ahead, but the way that everybody reported on this for the external genital swab, the vaginal swab, and the fingernail scrapings that also have an unknown male DNA, they reported on this like it was from both girls. So I'm really struggling with wanting clarity on this, because both girls, not just one, have possible semen. Both girls have unknown male DNA on an external genital swab, and both girls have unknown DNA under fingernail, at least one fingernail scraping. That's weird. They both have that? They both have the exact same thing? So the cervical swab that was done showed no DNA. So I just put that one in here because I thought that was important, because the point of it being that the DNA and anything that happened would be more on the outside versus the inside. But I still don't understand how they both would have the exact same thing. So then my question becomes, all of these, and as we go through it, all of these unknown male DNAs supposedly don't have enough for a profile, right? But don't they have enough to at least compare to each other and see if possibly that's all the same unknown male? Because wouldn't we want to know if any of this unknown male around the girl's girl parts is the same as the ones around the other girl's girl parts? Yeah, that's what they're doing all morning. Oh, for Cicero? I was told that they didn't have any questions for him. Maybe they didn't get to ask him? Yeah, partial matches could rule others out. I don't know. I'm very surprised. So, like, I want to know if there's any way for all these unknown male DNAs to be compared to see how many unknown male DNAs there are. Like, do these all match? Would it all just be different parts of the DNA, so then it could look like multiple people? I don't know. That's where I'm at. I just think that there should be something to show that. So then here's the other part. So Libby's body, on the left thigh, there was unknown male DNA. The left breast, unknown male DNA. The right breast, unknown male DNA. We got to pay for him, Loxy. On the left arm, there was a fibrous material, not enough for a DNA profile. On the left wrist, there was possible blood, no male DNA was present. Inside the right wrist, there was blood, no male DNA present. Now, this one here, these are interesting because we already had the left and the right thigh as number 1 and number 2. So I don't know if people were confused on, maybe it's a different part of the thigh, but 22 and 26, so I have question marks here because they were saying that these were also thigh, but they didn't specify, like, maybe outer thigh, and these were inner. I'm not really sure, but they said 22 and 26 were also the thigh. Unknown male DNA on the thigh, but we have the unknown male DNA on this thigh. So I was very confused by that. I put question marks because I need clarification. So you can kind of see where I didn't understand, or it seemed like the people who were reporting on it were saying the same things about specific areas, but giving them different tag numbers. So I was confused. So it has a question mark. Hopefully, if we can get transcripts, then this is like something we would be able to figure out if it's even important by then. You know, how much we want to actually be able to clarify this. Her left pinky had a fibrous material. It was a hair, no root, so it wasn't usable for DNA. They did a swab for possible blood on the left pinky and on the left index finger. It ended up not being confirmed that it was blood, but the DNA was consistent with Libby, but no blood. All right, let's go. So here's Abby's clothes. So her genes, her Sonoma genes, are found in the creek. Now her genes have Abby and Libby's DNA. Oh, that's a good point too. Steve says, purely speculation on his part. My first thought is secondary contamination from surgical gloves. And in this scenario, we are entertaining a highly organized offender. And would you consider a first-time offender to be, I mean, I guess he still could be overly organized, but it's just, I don't know, I'm still so weirded out by the whole mid-40s decides to go do this and doesn't leave a fucking trace of anything behind. Allie just said that Bob called her on break and said there's no way this guy did this. He said, just wait till you hear the interview, and said he had to go. Jeez. Yeah, Bob definitely doesn't have a fence anymore. Bob's fence is gone. He's like run totally opposite direction of any fence. They always do that in court. It's like that. The whole glove thing in court is just for show. They don't give two shits. They contaminate everything. There's so much cross-contamination in a courtroom. It's weird. Unknown male DNA doesn't mean what people think it means. Probably had a Y chromosome, but wasn't enough to be able to generate a profile. Correct. I put that in here too. So if it's like on the ones that are unknown, not enough for a profile. Not enough for a profile. Right. And so this is why she kind of excuses it, like, because they live in a house with male DNA and all their laundry is done together, some of the male DNA could end up on the other's clothing. See, it's funny that you say that, Steve, because I was talking about that earlier. Like, unless we want to consider that he's a Kohberger, even though Kohberger is still just alleged and he's technically innocent, and he like goes and wraps his car. He doesn't carry any of that blood that muddy, bloody guy is seen walking down the street. Okay, so her genes. So her genes have the have Abby and Libby, and then the others were not enough for an analysis. The gray sweatshirt was the cleanest item of all the items. It was found in the creek. So this is the zip up that we see Abby wearing on the bridge photo. There were 7 swabs, 1 cutting. The swabs were insufficient. The cutting couldn't tell the number of contributors. The maroon shirt, bunch of cuttings, had blood and 2 hairs with roots. The blood ended up being Abby's DNA. There was 1 hair that was Abby's and 1 hair that did not have enough to get a profile. The black bra had possible blood and 4 hair with roots. So that was non-confirmatory on the blood, but it was still Abby's DNA on 2 of the cuttings. Other 2 cuttings were Abby and a mix of an unknown, and the hair was not enough for analysis. The gray sports bra, 2 cuttings, 3 swabs, 1 fibrous material, which is the hair. Abby's DNA. 2 cuttings showed Abby. 1 cutting was inconclusive, and the hair was not enough for analysis. So, I mean, we're seeing a bunch of Abby's clothes having Abby's DNA on it. It was shown that the underwear that were found in the creek with the jeans were Abby's. They had tested the crotch area of the underwear, and it was proven that they were Abby's. Because that was a question we'd had a while ago, was how do we even know that those jeans, and because the jeans were like a weird 26 by 33, and then the underwear were in like wrapped inside the jeans, like if you took them off. So we do now know that the underwear in the creek belonged to Abby. What was testimony on what that lab required for a profile? Do they run DNA? Do they determine insufficient size for a profile for a limited STR XY run? Not a lot of people touched on the behind the scenes of what her requirements were. A lot of people just kind of skimmed over it, like, well, she went over the procedures for the lab. But let me go back. I can tell you what I did get. And this isn't going to really help you though. They didn't talk about like the requirements for it, but the lab does the regular autosomal STR. I think this is the one that they do the 20. I think they need 20 to have a match or to have a partial. I didn't write down what that was for, but I think this is when they have a 20. They do Y testing for STR, next gen stuff for IgG, blood, semen, saliva, skin cell, touch DNA, trace DNA, which same thing. That's the only info I got was 20, but I don't know what that was, if that was like a minimum or and what it was on. So probably have to get somebody that was in court. Wait, really? He had a heart attack in 2010? Okay, hold on. Let me go look. Let's go look at it. We'll take a little skip around. We do have a new sketch artist this week, though, I'm happy to announce. I'm happy to report, as a credentialed media person, we have a new sketch artist in the house. Okay, so we're kind of skipping around. This is day 10, so we're looking at a little bit of a day 10 update here. Let me scroll down to the morning one. We're going to look at it. We might as well just look at it, right? Let's go through the whole thing. Hold on. The evidence for the 2 videos. We already talked about that. October 13th video is played first. Mullen and Liggett explain in the video why they're talking to Richard Allen. They read him his rights and tell him he can leave at any time. Allen says he understands. Mullen reads to Allen what they had learned from Doolin's interview with Allen in February 2017. The 3 men joke about their ages. Allen says, I'm in the 50 club this year. Allen gives his phone number to Mullins and tells him he has an Android phone. Allen gives his email address. Mullen asks Allen if he uses Facebook, and Allen says, my wife does, I don't. Which goes along with what we never saw him on Facebook. Nobody was ever able to find him. Allen says in the video that he is married, has a daughter who was born in 94. He says his daughter is also married. Her husband used to live in the Philippines and in Canada, and they got married in 2017. Okay, we know that. Allen says he graduated high school in 1991. That's just crazy. I graduated in 96. I just feel like he's so much older than me. And studied accounting at Ivy Tech before joining the military. He says he played football in high school for a year and was not an honor student. Allen says he was in the National Guard and that he lived in Mexico, Indiana most of his life. He says he does not consistently go to church and has no criminal record. Allen says he had a heart attack back in 2010 at the age of 37. He says on the video that he suffers from depression and anxiety. S-Hawk, like, I graduated in 91. I'll look at that one too. At 37 years old, holy shit. Allen tells investigators in the video that he worked at CVS since 2013 and previously worked at the location in Peru. He says he worked for Walmart for 10 years before that and left because he was tired of the bureaucracy. I can totally second that shit. Mullen brings up February 2017. Allen says he was at his mom's in Peru while his wife was working, and he left there at 11:15 a.m. He said he went home and got a jacket, even though it was warm out. Allen said he walked down to the high bridge, went out a little bit on a platform, and watched the fish. Allen says then he left. Says he parked either on the bridge side or near a smaller bridge. Liggett shows him a map of the area. Mullen explains where things are on the map. Allen says he didn't go out all that often, but that it varied and that he had gone out a time or two in the winter months. Mullen asked Allen if there were any other way he would have driven to get there, and Allen says maybe, but really they always took the same route through downtown. Oh, true crime junkie. Dang. So young. Allen says he was driving downtown a few days after the girls died when the DNA officer called and they agreed to meet at Save-A-Lot. Allen said he thought about it a lot because he was probably there around them. He thought about it a lot because he was probably there around them. Okay. Allen says he told Doolin he saw 3 girls. He thought one was babysitting 2 of the girls, and he thought they all looked alike. Okay, that's interesting. Babysitting 2 of the girls, and they all looked alike. Well, I can tell you, Bree Wilbur and Rayleigh Voorhees do not look anything alike. But Rayleigh and her sister do. Well, they had originally said like this whole babysitting thing. I was like, okay, well that kind of makes sense because Rayleigh's little sister was with her, but it's still not enough girls, and the other ones don't look. They don't look the same, but Okay, so reports in the courtroom. Okay, reports at this point in the court. Richard Allen is shaking his head. Okay. In the video, Allen said there were 2 cars at the end of the trail near the entrance. A sedan and an SUV. Allen says he left around 1 to 1:30, 1:45. At the entrance, there's 2 cars, a sedan and an SUV. Okay. Allen says in the video that he worked at a Walmart community event near the trails years ago and also worked near the Carlton Bridge on that community service day. Allen says there were no vehicles where he parked on February 13th, 2017. Mullen, how far out on the bridge he went that day? That's a typo. He said he wasn't sure how many feet it was, but really never went past that first platform. Liggett asked how and where he walked to get on the bridge. Allen doesn't give a clear answer. Allen explains he had a red Ford car before he got the black car. Okay. Mullen again asks about him seeing 3 girls. Allen says he did not see anyone else while on the trails, and he was walking toward the girls. I don't really remember seeing anyone that day. If I did, they didn't stand out to me. Allen says in the video that he had an individual stock trading account and was trying to get rich. In the video, Allen laughs. Allen says in the video, that was a hobby, I guess, for me, referring to the question about stocks. Mullen asked what he was wearing that day. Allen said he was wearing blue jeans and a back off-brand Carhartt jacket. Liggett asked in the video if he was wearing a hat. Allen said that if he was, it would have been the skull cap he kept in his jacket pocket. Allen says he was wearing either tennis shoes or combat boots or work boots. Mullen is seen texting during the interview. Mullen asked Allen about the phone he had in 2017. Allen says he doesn't know, but he's had his current phone for several years. Liggett asked if Allen has a photo of his car and if they can confirm some of this information by searching his home and extracting data from his current phone. They ask if they can do that immediately. Allen asked, how long are you going to have my phone? Liggett asked what service provider he has, and Allen says he uses Ting based off Verizon. Liggett asked what service provider he had in 2017. Allen says that they can extract that information from his current phone. What? Okay. Mullen reads another round of Miranda rights as it pertains to cell phone extraction. Allen says in the video, I don't want to be someone else's fall guy. I thought we were talking. I haven't thought about this in a long time. I don't want you guys to get someone from the public so we can close this thing. Oh, shit. Allen says, starting to feel like you think I am the main lead here. Liggett says, we decided to pick through this from the very beginning. There's no fall guy. If you think I might have actually done this and you want to get a warrant or something, that's fine, Allen said. Allen agrees to let them look through his current phone and says he will look for the phone he had in 2017. Allen decides not to sign anything until he speaks to his wife. Allen says in the video, am I angel of a person? No. Am I an angel of a person? No. But I guess I just don't want you looking through every website I've ever checked. He says he's worried they will find pieces close to fitting and make it fit. Ooh. That's weird. I don't think you're coming after me, Allen says. I want closure for the family as much as anyone else. Says Kathy Allen is pretty upset watching this. Allen says in the video that he would not want people going through their home. We're here because we haven't found the guy who did this. I don't want to become that guy. Allen says, there's nothing to tie me. I'm not worried. I had nothing to do with it. If I had anything useful to you, I would give you anything I had. Mullen explains in the video why they want to look at his car. Allen talks about watching Dateline every week with his wife and doesn't want to be that story. Oh, shit. Well, Dateline hasn't done an episode on you yet, but they are. They're going to. Allen says to the investigators, this is out of left field, guys. I'm going to talk to my wife before I do anything. This impacts her more than it impacts me. That's interesting. Mullen and Liggett step out of the room. Alan checks his phone. They return and show him photos of his car going to the trail. Mullen says, "We've been able to talk to your wife and your daughter." Mullen says his wife and daughter describe Alan's mental health issues. Mullen shows Alan a picture of Bridge Guy. Mullen asks, "Is this you?" Alan says, "I was going to shoot myself one night. I don't have psychological issues because I went out and killed 2 girls." Oh, shit. He was going to kill himself one night. Okay. Kathy is in the courtroom crying and sobbing as this portion of the video plays. Mullen asks in the video, "Why is this information showing us one thing, but you're saying another?" What information? Alan says if it feels like he's being interrogated. What info do you have? He asks. "You have that I was out there. I told you that." After cutting the video, Liggett says, "We have people that saw you." Okay, liar, liar, pants on fire. Liggett then leaves the room. Alan says, "You're trying to change my words around." Mullen asks, "The question is this you?" Alan replies, "No." Mullen says in the video, "You were out there to do this to the girls. You were out there to do this to the girls, or you were trying to introduce them to someone." Alan continues to deny it. Alan says, "Arrest me or take me home. I'm done. You're not going to find anything that connects me to the murders. You've lost my trust, and now you've pissed me off. You're an asshole. Or a dickhead. Or a fuckwad." Who knows what expletive he used. In the video, Alan gets up and leaves. At this point in the courtroom, there's laughter. What? Why the fuck is there laughter in the courtroom? What? Okay, that's weird. All right, let's go to the court returns from break. The jury is shown a video of an interview from October 26th. Now, this is the one with Holman. In the video, Holman is interviewing Alan. He tells Alan what they took from his house and what is being tested. He tells Alan they took swabs from a lot of the items. Holman asks Alan if he has ever loaned any of his items, like the gun, out to anyone where DNA could have been transferred. He also asked Alan if he had the gun on him when he went to the trails on February 13th. Alan said he did not. In the video, Holman tells Alan that the Sig Sauer matched the cartridge from the crime scene. Alan laughs in apparent disbelief and says he doesn't need to read the ballistics report. He said, "There's no way," he tells Holman. Holman says, "I'm on your side, old man." "I'm on your side, Rick." Holman asks Alan about saying it's over during the search, and Alan says, "Yeah, the damage is done." Holman then tells Alan the media will portray him in a certain way, and asks, "Are you the mastermind?" Alan responds, "Mastermind? Okay." I want to watch these. He asks Holman if he realizes what he's going through. He asks Holman if he realizes what he's going through, telling him he has anxiety and all kinds of stress. Alan adds, "There's no way around for my gun was anywhere near those girls or the bridge." He continues, "Go ahead and do what you're going to do. Anyone who knows me knows I could never, even if I wanted to, that's not me." Holman tells Alan the science doesn't lie and that the death penalty is on the line. Alan says he doesn't care. Says he does not care. All right, hold on. Let me see if WTHR has anything different. We'll refresh this one. You put that one over here. An uncomfortable laughter? Maybe. I don't know.
Hey guys!
We
No.
brought a truckload of magic.
No,
What
I
do you
don't.
like to make disappear?
No.
All that stuff out there.
Stop it.
When you want.
Hmm. All right, let's see. So this is playing the evidence. That looks pretty much the same because he goes out to the Monon High Bridge to look at fish because he likes fishing. So this is now back to the interview on the 13th. He spent the morning in Peru with his mom. It was a warm day, so he stopped by his house to get a jacket and then went out to the trails. He tells the police he does that about once a month. Describing the bridge side of things. I don't know what that means. Either there or there. I want to ask Alan how he drove there. A lot of this looks the same. Wait. He went to the first platform, then stuck out to look at fish. Alan says he had crossed the bridge years ago before it got so rough. Alan says he hit an SUV when he fell asleep in Peru and lost the car. That's why I bought that black car. Oh, he fell asleep and hit a car. Probably with his red Ford then. Yes, that's the three girls that were there earlier that day. Mata, Collier, and Herrera. But they're all the same age, so it still doesn't go along with the whole babysitting thing, but it does make sense with the three girls. His wife drove mostly, but he would drive if he needed to. He says it had good fuel economy. So his wife mostly drove the black car. Liga says, we're not just randomly coming after you. Okay. We're not trying to put anybody in a box. That's an interesting statement. I don't have anything to do with this, Alan says. Where does it talk about the heart attack here? Let me see, 2010. Oh, here it is. Alan and the officers go through his background from high school onward. They discuss that Alan had a heart attack in 2010 and needed a couple of stents. He tells police he has depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. They also discuss Alan's employment history. Okay, so yeah, he had a heart attack, couple of stents, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure. Jesus, this guy's a fucking mess. Alan says, I came forward with what I knew. Mullen says, I'm not here to give you a hard time. We're just here to get the truth. I have questions, but I think we're almost done here. Ligon's all, people saw you. Alan says, I don't appreciate you trying to talk to me like this, or talk me into this. Mullen starts going over the clothing description again. Never mind, Alan says, this is ridiculous. Alan says, you're trying to make me say I killed those girls. And he saw what they were doing. Oh, he does say asshole. See, look at that. Thanks, Alan says, you're an asshole. He says that to Mullen. He says, you've always been free to leave. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You're really pissing me off. Am I free to leave? Mullen says, you've always been free to leave. Thanks. You're an asshole. Fucking Mullen. All right. I don't think there's I don't think they have anything from the Holman one, but essentially it's everything we just read through. So I mean, I don't know. Let's see if there's any other updates. If you guys have any other updates you want me to peek in at, let me know and I'll pop over to it. Now let me go. Oh, that is not what I wanted. Where did it go? How the hell did I lose it? Oh, I didn't. It was on the same screen. So stupid. How's to piss off the Carroll County cops? I know. All right, sorry, I was not paying attention to you guys in chat. See, you're laughing and the court laughed. All right, let me go back over here and see if there's any of the other big things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I think everything else is a lot of it outside of this is very common. The green bandana that was found in the creek apparently looked very old, and they don't think it's even connected to the crime. I thought that was interesting. The branches that they left out there for 3 weeks, you know, the branches that were on the girls. We don't even know that they go back and know exactly what branches they were, but whatever. Apparently, during all the swabs of the branches that were left there, two swabs came back positive, consistent with Libby's DNA. And then also the blood on the F tree, upside down L tree, whatever you want to call it, the tree where they believe Libby was killed by, was all Libby's DNA found. Yeah, I guess so. That's what the reporter said. Then there was laughter in the courtroom. I don't know why. Go would be like, I don't go in your house and laugh, so don't come in my courtroom and laugh. She could not get any DNA from the cartridge. This is not uncommon. I know Bob was like really pissed off about this, that they're not even going to test for it anymore. But getting DNA off of a cartridge, yeah, obviously if you can get it, it's very important, but it's not as easy to get as many people think it is. So I wasn't very surprised by this. F tree. Puddles, I think we already kind of know that all the puddles that were surrounding the tree were Libby's. Abby's blood was only found under herself, and then under Libby was more of Libby's blood. This was kind of confusing because they were talking about all these different puddles, and I was trying to keep track of which ones were which, but I figured that doesn't really matter, so I wasn't going to make it too big of a deal. But I do, you know what? I don't know if I have that drawing. I don't know if I took a screenshot of it. But now, like for like the third time, it's come up that one of these puddles of blood had a stick placement on it. Have you guys heard or seen people's like little diagrams that they're showing that one of the puddles had a stick placement on it, similar to like Libby's, or not similar to Abby's stick placement? Fluffy Bunny, where is it? Yeah, the same as the Brad Holder logo, the same one that's found on Abby. I just think that's weird. Carbon's like, yep, heard of that. iPhone. This was another one that was interesting. iPhone, they took a couple swabs, and it had a mixture of DNA. They ended up not getting a profile of it. I'm curious why they didn't take any fingerprints off the phone, but it is what it is. Andrea mentioned that they swabbed another tree. I was very confused by this, why it was just one tree that was brought up and not like a ton of different trees if they're looking for any type of trace DNA. So it was a tree like on the east side of the river below the trail. DB, can you send it to me so I can show it? Torsil tweeted it. Okay. Let me go get it then. Oh shit. When? When did Torsil tweet it? There it is. I found it. Let me see whose drawing this is. Torsil, are you in here still? Whose drawing is this? Is this Andrea's, Bob's? I don't know who drew this. Because this is not right. This is not accurate. This is not accurate either. Whose is this? This is not accurate. It's just one of the journalists. All right. Well. All right. Yeah. These stick formations are not correct that are on the bodies. This is Max's. Freaking Max. So. Had blood what on it? Oh, blood stains on it. Okay. This tree had blood stains on it. And this tree is the one that Libby was by. Okay, and the creek is over here. Huh. That's interesting. So this is the F tree over here. All right, so anyway, so there's this puddle of blood that's over here that also has sticks on it. Now I'm wondering if the size of these sticks, and if the thought in the courtroom was the sticks are placed on top of this blood puddle, or if the thought in the courtroom is this blood puddle happens to fall onto these sticks. And then did they not take these sticks until 3 weeks later also, or were these taken initially? Do we know? Is there any testimony about any of that? Because this would be interesting if these sticks are laid over the top. They would know that. They would be able to tell that. It is, the whole thing's kind of odd. Just because I don't think it has anything to do with covering them. I just personally don't think whatever it is means something to whoever did it. The way they did it is important to them. Whether you want to say it's Odinism, Norse paganism, some type of symbol, I don't care. But I will say is I think whatever the reason that these are the way they are was important to whoever did it. Yeah, why would they be camouflaging? Yeah, why are they trying to cover this? I'm going to cover all the blood spots. Hey, allegations. I was thinking this morning, maybe the sticks were a decoy, like it was supposed to look like a staging to throw the police off. It is definitely weird and nothing makes sense. But I think the big question then is if there is stick placement over a puddle of blood, what's the purpose of that? You're not hiding all the puddles of blood. You know what I mean? So if it is for covering, then that's why it's important to know like whether the blood is on top of the sticks or the sticks are on top of the blood. Yeah, I think everything here has a meaning. I'm 100%. He said roast my drawing. Well, it's bad. I mean, Max, it's really bad. I don't even know what. Yeah, this is just. At least I got the directionality from him, though. I'll take that. But this is a big deal to me. Why this isn't tied in with these other sticks? Why, like, that's not a big part of the sticks on top of the blood? Why? They're not covering the fucking blood. They're not trying to hide the blood. So the concealment part goes away. Especially if he's putting more asterisks here. Because I think that this is an asterisk, but has an extra branch on it. Send it in Discord. Okay, let me see. Thank you, DB. Okay, so this is Max's thread. Let's see. Determined Libby's throat was slashed near a tree, and her blood hand hit the tree, leaving a stain on it. He said it appeared she then fell to the ground. She bled out, and then was dragged through her pool of blood to where her body was found. The map is for reference. Okay, so this also makes it more interesting. So she's killed over here and dragged over here. Where's... That doesn't make a lot of sense. Where's Abby then? Now that if this is the relation between the F tree and the tree that Libby's found by, this does not make much sense. For some reason in my brain, I had the F tree over here. And then her being moved this way while Abby was here. But if the F tree's here, she's dragged over Abby? Or the person's dragging her around Abby? Or Abby's not here at the time. And all of those any of those things would be very important to know. Huh. Check DM. Okay. You guys, I don't understand that. This is like throwing me off. Why in my head I thought the F tree was over here. And so her being dragged would have been that way. It's throwing off my whole thought process on things. Okay, let me see. This is Andrea's drawing. Let's save this one. Let's take a look at it. I'm sorry, you guys. I keep sniffling. Okay, left, gray, tree. Lean to the tree. Area is like a bowl. That seems to be like a general consensus. So here's a tree. This is the F tree? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. This is the F tree, but there's a huge puddle here? So how... it does not make sense to me. There's a huge puddle here, but her blood is on the tree over here. But if she's being killed by the tree over here, then she comes over here and sits down. And this is when the blood is coming from the wound down to her thighs, and then is dragged from here to here. Is that what the theory here is? The rune on it, it looks different. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does look different. The other one looks like an asterisk. Somebody else made it look like a V the first time I had heard about it. Right. Well, there's a huge puddle by her. That's what I'm thinking. So what significance does it have? Well, for me, they're trying to say she's killed by this tree. The state is saying that she's killed by this tree and moved over to this tree, and that she had to have so much blood from her wounds. And like I said, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to go over the information. So please don't take it like I don't care. I do care about what the girls went through, but I'm not trying to get too far into that side. I'm trying to just understand the location here, because it just doesn't make sense. If she's got wounds that are bleeding so profusely that she's leaving the marks on the tree over here. Oh, local last. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know. I didn't really take it wrong, but maybe I sounded like I took it wrong. I'm getting frustrated that this just doesn't make sense to me. Right. Okay. So that's perfect. So here, but then how is there so much blood on her hands that she's got so much transfer to this tree right here? That's, I guess, where I'm struggling then. So she somehow goes from this tree where she's leaving all of this blood on the tree over here, and then is dragged from here to here. Drag. Do you see what I mean? How does she have so much blood that she's leaving this mark on the tree? We should look up what exactly is done at a blot. Yeah, I've never researched that. You abduct and commit 2 homicides in broad daylight. I don't buy concealment is a big thing to the offender, or cares about concealing the victims. Yeah, I'm going to kill him right in the middle of the day, but now I need to hide him. I agree with you there too. She grabs her wound and touches the tree. But then why isn't this all blood? Let me go back to Max's. He's got blood on this side of the tree too. Hidden true crime. Yeah, send it, please. I'll kind of compare them. Had a good drawing of the scene on last night's video. All right. I don't know. Let me pull up my email real quick. Hold on. Got another message in here. Oh, shit. Hold on. Let me pull this up. I don't have it yet. All right, so I don't know. Either she walks. She's walking as because they did say Cicero had said that there was blood on the bottom of her feet, like she had stepped in her own blood. So that's all I can come up with then, is that she gets killed. She walks this direction. This is where she ends up sitting, and the blood is coming from her neck, landing on her thighs. And then she's dragged from here to here. And Abby's just here the whole time. So, I don't know. All right, let me go back this way. If she sends me hidden true crimes, I'll take a look at it. Haven't you seen the leaked crime scene photos? I have, yes. But they are not, they're not overview like that. They don't have like it's not like an aerial picture like that. It's an up close picture of Abby, and then an up close picture of Libby, if that makes sense. Like you can't tell directionality. You can't tell the size of the trees next to anybody. You can't tell that. You can tell their relation to each other because you can see one girl's part of one girl in the other girl's picture, so you can tell the directionality to each other, but not like you can't tell north, south, east. Yeah, you just don't know. But I can tell you, I know the stick placement on the girls, and that's the other thing you can't see. You can't see like any of the blood puddles that are anywhere near, like near the trees or near the girls. So I guess that's why in my mind I was thinking like I'd already placed the F tree almost to, I think to the, like in my brain it was to the right. Okay, there's just one more thing on the DNA stuff that I want to touch on because I was pretty confused by this and I was hoping that maybe we could get some clarification. Call BH and ask him. I think I'm good. I don't really want to talk to him. Okay, here's hidden true crimes. They talk about 3 unknown female hairs. Now, I have an issue with this because the first unknown female hair, I think, and nobody clarified this for me in any of the lives, so this is like a clarification question for anybody who was at the hearing or was listening to more streams about this information. The unknown female hair would be the hair that was in Abby's hand. If the one that's in Abby's hand ends up being Kelsey, which they just figured out, they talk about an unknown female hair 3 that was found in the sheet in the body bag. And they just kind of ignore that it's even there. They just like, oh yeah, it was there. So it was like no big deal. So that's unknown female hair 3. Who the hell is unknown female hair 2? And what hair is that? Where is there another? They don't label them 1 and 3. They go 1 and then unknown female 2 and then unknown female 3. So where is this hair? And why didn't anybody ask about it? Where is the hair? Where was it found? And I don't understand that. So I'm very confused and I want some clarification on this. So that's one of my questions. So if anybody can find clarification on these, where this second hair is found, and even if we go the opposite and we say number 2 hair is Kelsey, then we have to go, where's the other? There's still a female hair not talked about. And then why isn't female hair that was found in the body bag tested? They just ignored all the female DNA, which is weird to me for 2 reasons. One, they, even with Richard Allen, and then prior to Richard Allen's arrest, they say that they were focusing on the perpetrator being a male based on essentially Bridge Guy. But even after they arrest Richard Allen, they're looking for accomplices. They don't think he did it alone. They only charge him with felony murder, meaning that they think there's somebody else that could have been a part of the crime, and they're looking for more evidence to support that. And when they don't get it, they up the charges to the murder and the felony murder, right? So that's, I don't get that. If you're looking for an accomplice, why can't the accomplice be a female? So that's number 1. And my other issue with that is, what if it's Kathy Allen's hair? What if it's Brittany Allen's hair? What if it's Jamie Jones's hair, his sister? You know what I mean? Like, what if one of the hairs ties to the perpetrator? We know that that's a big deal when we have the Long Island serial killer whose wife's DNA is on the bodies. And that's how, one of the ways he ends up getting caught. Why wouldn't you test the fucking hair? No matter whether you think Bridge Guy is, why, if you think Bridge Guy's guy, great. But you have multiple reasons to not just let go of the other information. And I want to know where the other fucking hair is found. So we have 2 unknown females that we don't know who the hell they are. And they're not the same because those 2 profiles would have been compared to each other, and then it would have been continued to be unknown female 2. So now there's 2 unknown female hairs. Well, technically 3, because one was Kelsey and they never tested it until recently. So I'm struggling with this. And then the 3 hairs, I was kind of talking to Steve about this earlier, about these 3 hairs. So they had like 80 hairs that they were going through. They sent a bunch of them to the FBI, so on and so forth. The most important is these 3. These 3 hairs that were not consistent with Abby or Libby. They didn't do the testing on them because if they had tested them, it would have been consumptive testing. It means that the sample would be destroyed. You wouldn't be able to test it again. And so she said that she's wanting to, her supervisors, not her, she didn't make the decision, that she was told that they wanted to wait until the technology is more impressive to be able to test these unknown hairs. I don't know. They're not Abby and Libby's hair. They're not consistent with Abby and Libby's hair, which was what they thought about this unknown female hair 1, was like, oh, it is consistent with Libby's hair. It isn't Libby's. It doesn't match Libby's DNA, but it is consistent with hers. And then they tested Derek German and found that, yeah, it is a relation. And so they assumed it was Kelsey's without spending the additional money to go just test that it was Kelsey's, which I still think is just silly because now they did it, and I think it looks stupid on them. Just do it. I mean, this is your biggest murder case you've ever had. Go to fucking court with all the info you could possibly go with. I think a jury's probably sitting there going like, you had this, you didn't test it. You had this, you didn't test it. You had this, you didn't test it. I have to watch Lana from today. So anyway, the unknown male DNA in various spots, the 3 hairs not being tested, and now these unknown female hairs. So I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you what my list of questions after yesterday were. Where's the 3rd fucking sock? Because we didn't really touch too much on it, but here's the sock. The socks did have hair, FYI. There was hair on the socks. Where's the 3rd sock? That's a stupid question, but where the fuck is it? Why do we not have an answer to which bra was Libby's? Maybe it is the camisole. Somebody had a good one with that. That might be the situation. Maybe that black camisole that was found in the creek is actually Libby's. And it could have a built-in bra. Number 3, are all the unknown males, did they compare them to each other to make it so we had unknown male 1, unknown male 2, unknown male 3? Were they even looked at to be compared to each other? I just asked you one of my questions, which was who's number 2? Who's unknown female number 2? And who's the unknown female number 3? And where was unknown female number 2 hair found? Or DNA found? I guess it doesn't even have to be a hair. We don't even know that. I assume it's a hair because the other ones are hairs. But it doesn't have to be a hair. Where the hell was that DNA found? I want clarification on how both girls had unknown male DNA found in the exact same locations on the rape kit. And how we're just saying like, okay, that's normal because they both live with men. It's like, that's another big question I have. Did both girls actually have unknown male DNA in the exact same areas? The tech DNA that was found on the sweatshirt and on the jeans, or the law enforcement, whomever it was, that DNA found on the jeans and on the sweatshirt, is it from the same person? And then what the hell did they do IgG on? So I have 7 big questions after yesterday. That's where I'm at. All right, let me see what you sent me. Oh, okay. Oh, this is Hidden True Crimes. Let's see. Okay. Let me come back to you guys. Okay, so here she has This is green. This is the tree. So she has this is the tree. Libby's wounded over here. Okay. There's a puddle here from the other person's picture. I think Max's picture has a puddle on this side. Libby's wounded. This is the largest pool of blood. Okay, so she actually has written here, Libby sits and succumbs to wounds. Okay, so what I was thinking. Makes sense. She has an X. So we have an asterisk, a V, and an X from the three interpretations. Of what the sticks on the blood were. We have an asterisk, a V, and an X. Be nice if we could just watch it ourselves. Okay, so this is based on Cicero's blood spatter theory, which she titled Blood Splatter. Okay, so then Libby's dragged from here to here. Libby has blood on her neck, her hands. Yeah, I agree with that. She has the sticks. She has the sticks right. And then she has the sticks right here also. Abby dies here. Okay, so Cicero believes that Abby was already dressed. Abby didn't move. Abby's chin had to be below the neck at some point. Now, I don't understand how that would have happened if she didn't move. All right. So F tree over here. So Libby's wounded, goes this direction, dragged over here. Okay. And then the creek is on this side. Wait, the creek is on this side. And then the largest branch is here. And they're put in between the two trees. It was her left side. The left side of Abby. It looks like the sticks are placed over the blood, both on the ground and on the wounds, at least going by this drawing, right? Yeah, that's true. And it is because both of them have their neck wounds and the sticks are placed over their necks. They went back and forth between calling them sticks and branches. I get it. The only real branch, I mean, like, that's like looks like it's it's hardcore is this one on Libby. This is big and it's thick. The other ones are like more like a this one right here across Abby is literally like that walking stick from that photo I showed you guys. It's cut on one end and we're pointing on the other. I would still call these other ones sticks. This is the branch. This thing's huge. Already had his hunting license and multiple firearms, I'd assume. Oh, hi, Idaho Charlie. You won't hear this till later. This one is from Hidden True Crime, who's been going to trial every day as well. That's what I think they expected that he would just confess and take a plea deal. That's where I'm at with it. They couldn't get him to confess in the interviews. They both were trying, or I should say all three were trying in both interviews. They could not get him to confess, so they had him transferred over and they were like, we'll get him to confess. We'll figure it out. And I think they wanted him to confess to the point where I absolutely think like Holman thought he was the guy. Holman probably still does think he's the guy. I think Holman's a fucking idiot. So I would not be surprised if he's like, oh yeah, this is the guy and I'm going to get him to confess. And when he confesses, he's going to take a plea deal and then that's how it's going to be. Holman didn't have shit to hold him on the 26th. That's why they couldn't get a warrant until the 28th for his arrest. They detained him on the 26th. You think that he just waited until the 28th to be able to be like, oh, all right, I've got a judge to sign off on it now. No, he was working the 26th, 27th, 28th to try to find anything he fucking could on Richard Allen, and he came up short. That's why he said we had enough for a probable cause. That's a quote from Holman. We didn't have enough. We don't have enough to nail this guy. We aren't saying like we absolutely know he's the guy. We have enough for probable cause, which is not, they don't need much, you guys. They don't need much. All right, so other things that happened in court. You guys remember the old prosecutor Ives was subpoenaed by the defense. He got an attorney, and his attorney requested a motion to quash that subpoena for him to testify. I specifically said that I thought that the judge should go over exactly what they want, what the defense wants him to testify about, because the motion to quash just says, I was the prosecutor at the time and everything I did was work product. Well, he did umpteen interviews after he was no longer the prosecutor. He was not employed as the prosecutor, and he did those public interviews. So, but there was no clarification on what they wanted him to testify to, and I just knew Goal was going to be like, nope, everything he did was work product, and it's like, no, not everything he did was work product, but that's it. So Ives' motion for him to testify, motion to quash his testimony, was given to Goal, or given by Goal. We talked a little bit about the Google searches. Judge Goal said she was going to take that into consideration. I don't know if we've heard anything today about that, about the Google searches coming in. So we may see Google searches. If we do, the state's going to have to prove that there was no Kathy Allen around at the time to be able to access it. So, and I think it's weird now that they want to bring in the Google searches. What do they feel like their case? They must feel like their case is shit. Like, we need to bring in the Google searches about them searching the crime. Well, if you thought that was real evidence and important, why the fuck didn't you already want to bring it up? Why are you deciding now you want to? That's because you know. Do we know if they actually have court next Tuesday? I have not been told that they don't have court. They have court Monday through Saturday until this thing's done. I am not told they've been given any days off except for Sundays. And that's exactly what I think Holman did, Radar. That's exactly what I think Holman did. And his peons had to continue to support him, and so he didn't look like such a jackass. So, what else? We got the Jesse James. Jesse James is coming to trial. We got that one today. The request to transport Jesse James from the IDOC, from the defense. Oh. Any other updates? What else can you guys think of? What did I miss? What did I miss? I'll double check the articles and just see if there's anything from midday. I think we covered mostly everything from yesterday with the DNA and my big questions that I still have on that and hope we get clarification on. We went through Cicero's account of the crime scene. I'm not on the fence when it comes to the evidence. I guess I should say. I'm not on the fence when it comes to the evidence. I don't think that they have enough at this point to convict him. Max Lewis put out a review. Okay. So if it comes to like, he's still not guilty. If I'm sitting on the jury, he's not guilty. I sent you a DM on the twits. I always say that. My husband's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the twits, you know. Let's go back over here to Maxie. Didn't I already have Max up somewhere? I swear I did. Okay, hold on. You need another cough drop. There's no questioning this morning. It's just been viewing of the videos. Court resumes at 1:45. Okay, Mullen said they spoke to his wife and daughter and knew that he had some mental health issues. There was a mention of a possible suicide attempt by Mr. Allen where he put a gun to his head. Allen's family was crying during this. Not clear when that attempt was. Investigators pull out the bridge guy photo, and Liggett says there's zero doubt that's you. Allen repeatedly denies any involvement and said, "You're not going to find anything to connect me to the murders, so I'm not worried about it." Allen is very frustrated at this point and is asking them, "Are you arresting me?" He then leaves the room and says to Mullen, "You're an asshole." Court took a quick break, and then we were back, and they played the interview with Indiana State Police Lieutenant Jerry Holman. Starts very cordial with them talking about their time in the military. No, they're building rapport. Building rapport. Holman then confronts Allen with the results from the state firearms examiner that analyzed the cartridge found at the crime scene and believes it came from Allen's gun. Allen, I don't even know how my bullet would have gotten out there if that's my bullet. Holman said at one point, if you don't tell me, you're going down for this. So stupid. Because if you do tell me, then you can just go free? I don't know. Like, what? Holman tells Allen the death penalty is on the table. Allen responded by saying, kill me. Make my wife fucking rich. Shit. Hot damn. Allen is quite clearly angry at this point. Yeah, they're not supposed to, Hollis, but that's what we were talking about. That's the other day, too. Why didn't nobody said anything in court, though, so the jury isn't going to know. Was it ever documented what meds RA was taking, medical and psych? I don't think so, but I know that they're going to have Walla testify on the for the defense, which is just interesting in itself. Now, he cared more about his wife after 2 weeks of harassment. He definitely loves his wife. I mean, he keeps. You're talking. They've been together since they were what? I think 19. And every interview, he makes sure that he talks about her and what this is going to do to her and how it's going to affect her. I also think that's going to play when we're talking about the quote unquote admission / confession of when he tells his wife, like, you say the word and I'll just tell them everything. You can't handle this. Like, just say the word and I'll tell them everything they want to know. Like, or I'll tell them everything that they, however it's worded. And, we'll get to hear that one in court too. But it does put a lot of context to that. Like how I had thought before, is he just saying that because he's like, I know you can't deal with it. I'll just end it right now and we'll just be done so that you don't even have to go through all of this. Yeah, so Allen is quite clearly upset. We see Allen has swabs done from his mouth. Huh, that's interesting. We know that, was it Liggett? I'd have to pull up the warrant now. One of them might have been Mullen, took a Aquafina water bottle that he was drinking. Yeah, I think so too. Oh, really? Since you were 16? Aw. So they took the water bottle to get his DNA without getting it from him, and now they're getting it from him from the swabs. After Allen says, I'm not going to say something I didn't fucking do. Allen says, I think nothing you have is going to show me near the murder scene. Holman continues to ask how the bullet got to the scene, and Allen continues to say he has no explanation and it's not possible. Later, Allen's wife, Kathy, comes into the room. They hug, and he says, it's going to be all right. Allen tells Kathy there's no way it could have been him. Kathy then asks, how did a bullet from your gun get there? Alan says he doesn't know. He continues to say to Kathy, I know you know me. Look at you robbing the cradle, Dietz. He confessed to stop the pain and torture. He believed it's futile to hope for any escape from hell. Holman enters the room and starts to question him in front of Kathy, and Alan asks him not to do it in front of his wife. As Holman is taking Kathy out, he says to Alan, you're going to drag your fucking daughter and wife into this because you're too fucking bullheaded. Holman also says, tell him, Kathy, tell him to do the right thing. He says this in front of Kathy. I don't like that fucking guy at all. When Holman comes back, Alan says, you want to fuck with me? Fuck with me. But leave my wife out of this. Shit. Holman then goes ballistic. And he is yelling at the top of his lungs, did you see those two dead girls? He's pissed. He's pissed that RA won't let him frame him for murder. He goes ballistic. This is credentialed media, you guys. I just want you guys to know this is credentialed media. Alan says, arrest me then. Holman replied, happy to. You're guilty, and I'm going to prove it. The video ends. Judge Gold then read the transcript of the part where Alan is arrested because it can't be shown to the jury. And do we know why it can't be shown to the jury? Why can't it be shown to the jury? No, he only matched energy. One is angry, the other's ballistic, according to Max. Why can't this be shown to the jury? But they're reading it. So, and they're saying, like, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. I mean, she's reading the transcript of it, though. It's just the visual doesn't do well, I guess. I don't know. He says, happy to. Happy to. You're guilty, and I'm going to prove it. And he legit has no additional evidence beyond what he had when he sat in this fucking room. Think about that. There's no other evidence. Seeing, okay. Hey, Nico. Came up on your feed. I can't. That's just crazy. There is no more evidence. He had the unspent round. It had already been tested by the time he sat down in this interview, and they have nothing. Jerry Holman got nothing else. Nothing else. No other evidence. I mean, right. The confessions are quote unquote considered evidence, but Jerry Holman, he's like, look, I had him locked up in prison. I put some Odin guards on him. We recorded everything he did, including meeting with his doctors and psychologists. They ask if you knew Logan. Okay, we'll go to look at the update there. Hold on, because now we're just kind of chilling. Might as well turn this into a 9 and 10 day, right? All right, let's see.
There are moments in our lives that change us.
Stop it.
They happen every day.
Stop it.
Not the big flashy ones, though those are nice. We're talking about the smaller ones.
Stop it. Ads. Look at all these ads everywhere. No, shit. God damn it. It's going to start over, isn't it? Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
There are moments in our lives that change us, and they happen every day. Not the big flashy ones, though.
Okay. I closed too many and then ended up closing the same. Read this article like Jerry. No, it's you. It's been over for 7 years. All right, let's see. We already read this. Science doesn't lie. This has got to be when he's talking about the paternity test. You know, it's as good as paternity tests. Okay, here it is, I think. Oh, okay, there's definitely more here. And tell the truth. Okay, we read that. Oh, I didn't see it's over. All right, some of this I read earlier, but I'm just going to start here because otherwise I'm going to sit here and just keep going back and forth. Then tell the truth, Holman says. Why did you say it's over during the search warrant? He says, you've talked to people I worked with. Oh, hold on. Maybe I didn't read that one earlier. Holman tells Alan they found guns. Wait, I read the one from Wish. Dumb, you guys. Now I know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. I read the one from Wish earlier about Holman. This is WTHR's Holman stuff. Okay, the state plays a recording of Indiana State Police Officer Jerry Holman interrogating Richard Allen on the 26th. Holman tells Allen they found guns and knives at his home. Allen's like, yeah, of course you did. I fucking told you they were there. He asked Allen if he had guns or knives with him on the trail on February 13th. Allen says no. Okay, so this says he didn't have guns or knives with him. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this, Rick. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. He then tells Allen they match the extraction marks on the cartridge found at the scene to Allen's gun. Allen crosses his arms. Holman tells Allen he's on Allen's side. He says, you've already started here. There's no backing out. The damage is done. Holman tells Allen he doesn't think Allen should be the fall guy, but that there are experts who say Allen is the guy in the video. Allen says, and they can lie. I know they can. I'm not a whole. I do not approve of anything Holman. I think that's literally the end of that sentence, actually. Allen says he doesn't even know how his bullet would have gotten out there if it's his bullet. There's no way, Allen says. There's not. I don't know how the round got there. It's not my round. The media is going to portray you as a monster, Holman says. There's only one way to get out of this, and that's to tell the truth. What happened that day? Are you the mastermind? The truth will set you free. Allen says, that's what I would have thought. Oh, shit. It's like the truth is supposed to set me free, then I shouldn't fucking be here anymore. Then tell the truth, Holman says. Why did you say it's over during the search warrant? He said, you talked to people I worked with? You talked to my neighbors? Allen says. He says he has anxiety and he was stressed. Holman says the evidence shows you're involved. There's no way around if my gun was anywhere near the bridge, Allen says. You're trying to say I murdered 2 girls. I'm done. The damage is done. Just do what you're going to do. Holman says, I don't think you're the one who killed them. Are you? Anyone who knows me knows I could never do anything like that, Allen says. I did not murder 2 little girls. You're trying to convince me to confess to something I didn't do. Holman says the science doesn't lie. Allen says it didn't come out of my gun. It didn't come out of my gun. I can't explain it. It didn't come out of my gun. Holman says the evidence points to him and that people say they saw him there. Holman says, I'm trying to help you. He then goes to get a technician to swab Allen's mouth for a DNA sample. Holman says, the ball's in your court. I'm trying to help you. Why does all this evidence point to you? Alan says, I can't tell you. Holman says, we have 5 witnesses that put you out there on the bridge with the girls. How stupid is this? If they had fucking 1 witness that put Rick Allen anywhere with the girls, why didn't they fucking arrest him years before? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. We have 5 witnesses that put you out there on the bridge with the girls. Alan says it didn't happen. They didn't see me around the girls because I wasn't around them. I'm not going to admit to something I didn't do. There's nothing you're going to have to implicate me because I wasn't out there. My cartridge gun was not there. Holman says, you're wrong. Holman. Alan says, what was my involvement? Holman says, you tell me. Alan says, I don't know how I'm supposed to act like this never happened. This is the day. This is the time, Holman says. This is the time to get out in front of this. You made a mistake. I'm not going to admit to something I didn't do, Alan says. I'm done. If you're going to arrest me, arrest me. I'm done. I'm not talking anymore. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to admit to something I didn't do. Oh, I already read that one. I think nothing you have is going to show me around the murders of 2 little girls. It's an interesting way to say that, though. I'm not going to do this. Holman says to Alan to sit tight. Thought he was free to leave. You told him he's free to leave. What you talking about, sit tight? You just made it so he can't leave? This is why I believe this is absolutely a custodial interrogation. Then he explains how the ISP lab tied the cartridge at the scene of the crime. Richard Allen's already said I'm done. I'm not talking anymore. Allen says there's no way a bullet from my gun was found at a murder scene. Holman tells him scientists say it is. Allen says, and I'm telling you, it didn't happen. I didn't shoot anyone. I've never even pointed a gun at someone. I wasn't there. Right here, he thinks the girls are shot still. You said you were there, Holman says. Allen says he was at the trails, not the murder scene. I'm done talking, Allen says. Arrest me if you're going to arrest me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I did something I didn't do. The very day they said they wanted to talk to people there that day, I came in. He says, you don't believe the evidence? Holman says, you don't believe the evidence? Allen says, I don't. I didn't do it. I'm not going to sit here all day. I didn't do it. You obviously think I did it. Allen says, I'm not going to tell you I did something I didn't do. I'm not going to tell you I had something to do with this. Arrest me. Holman says, it's sad you're doing this. Holman tells Allen he lied to his wife for years. He says Allen's depression got worse. Holman says, mine would too if I killed 2 girls. Holman says, we know you have anger issues and depression. Holman puts forward the theory that Allen was there and the girls made him angry. This is your opportunity, Holman says. Allen asked him to please stop giving him opportunities. I didn't kill 2 little girls, Allen said. He says, what did you do? Holman says, what did you do? Allen says, I went for a walk on the trail, and then I went home. Holman asks, do you know Ron Logan? Why, in October of 2022, does Holman want to know if Rick Allen knows Ron Logan? Where's Stephen Curry at? He's got to still be here somewhere. Stop giving me opportunities. I don't need your stupid opportunities. And does that open the door? Does it open the door about Ronnie? RL is dead at the time, correct. If Ron Logan's dead, why does he want to know if he knows Ron Logan? He wants to know if he would have had permission to be on the property, probably. He keeps telling him, I don't think you're the mastermind. He says, not that I know. Alan says, not that I know of. The evidence doesn't lie. Holman says, I'm trying to help you. If you don't want me to help you, I won't. Do you believe in science? Holman asks. Alan says, I believe in science. That bullet did not come from my gun if it was found at that murder scene or on the bridge. I'm telling you, any round involved in this did not come from my gun. And Holman says, I'm telling you, you're wrong. Alan says he carries a gun when fishing or mushroom hunting. You realize mushrooms don't grow that early, Alan says. Richard Allen's schooling him on when to go mushroom hunting. It is your round, Holman says. You can't deny that. Alan says, I didn't even have my gun that day. Holman asks Alan what he wants Holman to tell the prosecutor. Alan says, I want you to tell him whatever you want to tell him. Holman says, I'm not lying to you. Everything I'm telling you is facts. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm not making this up. Yeah, you are. Alan says he has told them multiple times it didn't happen. Holman says, I can't lie to you and say this round is yours. Okay. Alan says, not my gun, not my bullet, didn't happen. Holman walks through the lab results again. I can't make that up, Holman says. I'm not lying to you. That's unethical. This is a certified official document. I got all this evidence we can present to a jury of your peers. What evidence? What's all this evidence? You have this. Holman says, I can't explain to you something I don't understand, Alan says. Holman says, I wish you could. Holman leaves the room. At this point, Alan has been in the interrogation room for an hour. He slumps his head, looking dejected. Alan gets up and goes to the restroom. When the interrogation resumes, Holman says, I don't think you're a bad person. What kind of person kills two people? Alan asks. Holman, good people make bad decisions all the time. Is that what happened here, Holman? You just made a bad decision. I can't tell you something I don't know, Alan says. I didn't murder two girls. I didn't help someone murder two girls. I can't explain something I don't know. Holman says, well, we'll figure it out. Then Alan's wife, Kathy, enters the room and they embrace. Alan tells Kathy the police have been telling him Kathy believes he did it. Ooh. I can't explain something I don't understand, Alan tells Kathy. It didn't happen. They really believe I did this. I'm not going to say something that's not true, Alan says. It's not possible a bullet from my gun ended up at a murder scene. I didn't kill anyone. I didn't help somebody kill anyone. Kathy asks Alan how the bullet got there. It is hard to understand her because she's crying. Alan says, this is what I do know. No bullet from my gun is involved in a murder in any way, shape, or form. Kathy says the police told her that they have witnesses who saw Alan at the scene and know it is him. Fucking liars. I love you, baby, Alan says before kissing Kathy. They're not going to get away with this. I'm not going to say something I didn't know. I know you know I would never do this. They're going to do what they're going to do, Alan says. He tells Kathy he's sorry she has to go through this. They want me to tell them I did it, Alan says. I don't care what they do to me. I'm not going to admit to something I didn't do. Kathy asks Alan some questions, but they aren't understandable over her crying. Alan says, I can't explain something I have no answer for. He tells Kathy the police want her to tell him. Tells Kathy the police want her to tell him she thinks he did it. He says he knows she knows he didn't. Alan says Kathy knows him too well. Holman then walks in the room and says, now you're going to drag your wife and daughter through this because you're too fucking bullheaded to get ahead of it. Alan and Holman then swear at each other, and Alan vehemently denies involvement in front of his wife. He asks if his wife can leave. Holman says, you can't get past this. Kathy and Alan hug and kiss, and then she leaves. This makes sense now. You're going to pay for what you've done to my wife, Alan says to Holman. You want to fuck with me, but you leave my wife out of this. Leave me out of this. Holman then screams and swears at Alan. Holman shouts that Alan murdered the girls. Alan says, if you're going to arrest me, arrest me. Holman says, happy to. Holy shit. It's almost like Rick pissed off Holman, and so Holman was like, fuck you, I am going to arrest you, which is why he ends up detaining him. And then it takes him 2 days to actually get a probable cause for arrest because he's not writing it up enough to get a judge to sign off on it right away. This is just very interesting to me. I don't know. I don't think Holman was actually probably supposed to be arresting him right then. I always kind of thought it was the plan to arrest him, like to get him in and arrest him. But now I'm thinking the plan was to get him to come in, obviously confess, and then I think Rick just pissed Holman off. I think Holman was just like, fuck you, happy to. You want me to fucking arrest you? Fine. Here you go. You're arrested, even though you're not really arrested because we don't actually arrest you for another 2 days. And then he probably goes to McClellan, and McClellan's like, what the fuck did you just do? What did you just do? Now I got to figure out, what am I supposed to do now? Holman's like, don't worry about it, Nick. Don't worry about it, Nick. I'm gonna prove this fucking guy did it. I'm gonna prove he fucking did it. You watch. I'm gonna prove it. Yes, Luthi, I know. Hi, Lynn. I haven't seen you forever. This shit is scary, Yankee Ghost says. Holman didn't plan on arresting him that day. I believe he said that in his testimony. I think that he was hoping to get the confession and the arrest, but I'm just saying, like, this definitely wasn't planned. He wanted him to confess. He wasn't done with him. Talking to him for, what, not even 2 hours? About 2 hours? I mean, it normally takes a lot longer than that to get a confession, real or fake, out of somebody. Holman's name should be Biff. All right. Story changed to Rayleigh Voorhees said she was 16 and on the trail February 13th with her 2 sisters and a friend, Bree Wilbur. Where's Anna Spath? That is 5 teens. I don't know where these 2 sisters came in. I'm feeling like somebody just misreported on that because we know that she has the one sister that was with her younger sister, and Anna and Bree. I think he planned to arrest them all along. Yeah, but I think he planned to get the confession out of him. I think he was like, I've always been like, I think Holman's like, let me take a crack at him. I can fucking get him to break. Mullen and Liggett over here, you guys. Why don't you guys watch and see what happens? See how it's done. That's how I see that going down. But he never got it. Hey, Autumn. I haven't seen you forever. Hope you're doing okay. How they end up getting his confession is messed up too. Well, yeah. R.A. said he knows what happened. Where? Where does he say that, Lynn? Thank you, Yankee Ghost. He's telling him over and over again, I didn't have anything to do with this. I don't know how a bullet of mine would be there. I didn't have my gun. I had nothing to do with that. I didn't shoot anybody. Didn't Liggett or Lesenby say 4 girls, but one was so young they didn't include her? Now, the public has essentially said that about the young one. I don't know why. To his wife. We just read through his conversation with his wife. He didn't say that. He says, I know that... That's not what he says to her. He says, I can't explain something that I don't have. I mean, I can go back and find it, but that's not what he says. You're talking about later when he's in prison. I know what you're talking about. Okay, never mind. Not in this. I thought you were talking about what we just read through. If it's too much for her, he'll tell them everything they want to know. Or something along those lines, which I'm very curious to see when it actually gets played in court, because it's the same thing he's essentially saying here. Like, I don't want my wife to have to go through this. I don't leave her out of it. You know, I need to talk, even on the 13th interview, he's like, I need to talk to my wife because this affects her. Hold on. Okay, T, I'm offering a contest. Did we read the second interview of Richard Allen on your program? It would have been between April and August. If you did read it, I have a contest and a prize. Okay. Yes and no. So the defense had put in one of their motions. I have fucking Frank's whatever number. I don't remember which one it was. They had put a transcript of the conversation between Rick and Holman. Mostly the part where he's saying, like, this is your bullet. I think I could tell you what it was. We just looked at it the other day too, when Sleuthy was up here. It was like this part. So we read through it. Is this the right one? Nope, that's ballistics. Sorry, wrong highlighted thingy. It's this one. So this was in one of the motions, and so it has excerpts from this interview, but that's all that we had was these excerpts that the defense had put in. So we had a couple pages from that motion. And yes, we did read it. It probably would have been around, Sleuthy probably actually tell you, it was the motion to suppress the second statements. She could probably tell you exactly what month we read it in. After hearing this and his devotion to his wife, I wonder if he said something like, if this is too much for you, I'll give them what they want. That's what I'm, yeah, that's my thought. Hold on. April 15th, 2024, it was filed, so we would have either read it we would have probably read it that day or the day after. And it was the motion to suppress the accused's second statement, which they ended up removing when they went for all the motions hearings. They ended up saying, no, it's fine. You can go ahead and show it to him. Go ahead and show him what fucking Holman is like. What do I win? Do I win something? Who wins? And what's the prize? Better be a good prize. I don't want somebody to like send me to read technique training. That'd fucking be lame. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think it's going to work in their benefit. You think that Nick would have probably wanted to remove it? Criminality, you slid off the fence, Nancy? I shall. Yeah, true, that's my vote. I want to know what we won. Okay, is there anything else you guys want to go over? There goes my nap before having to pick up kids. Ugh. Yeah, Travis is going to send me to read training school. Okay, experts. Anyone who finds the YouTube video of Teresa going through that motion and excerpts will get $50 worth of memberships merged from Criminality. What? Dang. Sweet. Well, it was going to be right around the April 15th And knowing me the way I do, I think that it would probably say defense wants to keep something out or something like that. That's kind of scary. I'm surprised it didn't wake you up, especially with my Holman impression. Teresa wins a shoddy PCA. Yay! Timeline when RA says he was there. Well, depends on which one you want. So he supposedly tells Doolin. Wait, I guess we should back up. When he calls into the tip line to say he was there, he supposedly says 1 to 3. 1 to 3. I'd have to go back and look at it. 1 to 3. And then when he talks to Doolin, he says he was there between 1:30 and 3:30, but the word between is there. And then when he talks to them on the 26th or 13th, he says he's there from 12 to 1:30, 1:45. Oh fuck! I went in an interview with Holman. T, you can open the DM. Okay, I'll open it on. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to open it on the live. I shall. No, that's not the right one. Thought it was on Twitter. Where'd you send it to me? Is it over here? Let me go in here. Where'd you send it to me? When he called the tip line. Yeah, he called the. We have that. We have that. The 16th, I'm going to say, but I'm going to go pull it up for you. Just so I can be 100% sure. I have too much shit open right now. Let's go to Doolin. Where you at, Danny boy? Do I not have Dan Doolin's in here yet? I might not have his in here yet. But I'm almost positive. It's the 16th. I actually think I have it in my notes. Travis said that I'm ineligible. Sleuthy's ineligible. I thought I had Dan Doolin's notes in the thing, but I guess I don't. That's Oberg. It's Mullen. Dan Doolin. Here you go. So February 16th. Oh, February 16th is when Dan Doolin started there. Okay. And he called Rick Allen on the 18th. So I don't have an. Okay, so I was thinking 16th because of when Dan Doolin started there. I don't actually called Richard Allen on 218. Somebody else might have to look at their notes and see if they actually wrote down when his tip came into the tip line. Does anybody have that? Anybody have when? Does anybody have when Rick called into the tip line and who testified to it? Somebody fucking testified to it. I can't remember who now. You can't post a link unless you're a mod. His tip came in 216? I don't have that down here. Who testified to that? 516 on Doolin, or 216 on Doolin, I have is when he started working the case. And I think I had that in my mind that was the day that the tip came in. Shit. Why did I not write that down? Did you already do Doolin notes? Did I do Doolin notes? I don't even know anymore. Yeah, you could put you can put the name of the video too, probably. Tony Liggett reported that it came through on the forum. Oh, organizer lady. I do believe you. I just need to. Because I'm messing it up in my brain. Why I wrote the 16th for that then? Why wouldn't I have wrote the 16th for the other thing? Maybe it was Shanky. Mm-mm. I know you do, but you don't. Well, because I thought the same thing. So I'm wondering. I don't have it on Kathy Shanks either. I just have September 21st, 2022 is when she found the tip. February 16th, it was reported 3 days after the killings. Don't make me put you two in a get along shirt. I trust you. I do trust you. I just don't know. Now I don't trust myself, and so now I need help. Liggett reported it. I think Liggett took the stand here. I don't see it in Liggett's either. I don't know. It really doesn't matter, but trust but verify. Where's Mandy? Oh shit. Oh shit. Lex Luthor's like, you don't believe me? I'm fucking out, dude. I'm not even gonna be here in your chat anymore. I'm leaving. The Quietly Concerned thanks Steve for being here. Well, of course, I thank Steve for being here. I can't wait for you to go over all of this, the forensic side of it, and give your input, Steve. And one of the mods, make sure you guys drop his link again for me. I think we've gone over everything that keeps us kind of up to date. I mean, to where we're at right now, right? Let me see. Thank you, Yankee Ghost, for the super chat. Miss Always Right, Ryan. Hidden True Crime says a good drawing. Thank you for your super chat. I did get that from you. Thank you, Andy Crime and T-Dub, for joining. Thank you, Bonnie, for the super sticker. Greenlee. I think we're done though. I don't think we have anything else. I don't think I have anything else to go over. Is there anything else you guys want to go over? What else do you want to look at? I can be looking for an update. We probably don't have one yet though. I think we're up to date on the no evidence. As of right now, the only testimony that we've even heard so far that actually has to do with Richard Allen, and the biggest thing that we said was we thought was going to be their biggest piece of evidence, but we're told they were going to have more, is really this unspent round. All right, when do you think Nick will hang this shit up and rest? I think you got, what is today, Tuesday? He may be done by Friday. I mean, they're not, the defense isn't asking for their witnesses to come in until Friday. So that's their earliest. They say they won't have, so I'm thinking that he'll probably rest Friday, maybe Saturday. He has the, they go through with the original timeline that they had talked about for trial. It was, essentially state taking the 2 weeks and then the defense taking 2 weeks. So he would have all the way through Saturday. When the trial actually started, they had narrowed down that the amount of witnesses they were going to call. And so both sides of attorneys said that they thought they'd be able to finish the whole trial in 3 weeks, which might be possible because without the Odin stuff that they're not going to be able to bring in for the defense, you go through who their main witnesses are going to be. They're going to have their tool marking expert. They have Walla. They've requested for Keegan Klein, Chadwell, James Haas, Jesse James to come in. Who else are they going to have? I'm getting tired. They'll have a couple more experts, and I just can't think off the top of my head who else they'd be. Sorry. I have a ticket to go. I actually got a ticket to go back into when it was supposed to be in May, and I changed it to November. I'm struggling with it because I know the hardship that it's going to put on. My mom had back surgery, and so I typically, when I drop off the kids at school, I've been at her house until I pick up kids from school, and then I come home and go live with you guys. So that's going to put that responsibility on somebody else. I am Autumn. Yes, stupid cold. And then my husband's going to have to do all the drop off, all the pickup for all 3 kids, all the sports. I feel like I'm putting a lot of what I normally take care of onto somebody else. But I want to go because I want to see it. I want to be there. I want to experience it myself. But I'm just really, I don't know. I'm going back and forth on this whole. You guys know, I always tell you guys, like, I'm a mom before I'm anything, and then I'm a daughter and a wife. So I'm struggling with putting, like, me just going there to Delphi above any of those things. It's like I'm just, I don't know. And now I don't feel good, so I don't even want to fucking think about it. But my husband's like, yeah, I don't know how we're gonna pull all this off. I mean, sports, like, so there are some of them are at the exact same time, so it's having to get like my in-laws involved, and I need a temp nanny fund. I really do need a nanny. And then just to throw out there, like I have, I've been doing some testing for some different jobs in forensic stuff, and it takes a long time for all the processes to go through. And then there's the concern that, like, when they tell you, like, hey, you have a test that you have to come in for to test for this specific job, the testing is a set schedule. You don't really get to, like, pick when you go. Not like a job interview. You know what I mean? Like, they're testing 50 people at this time. That's when it is. And so if they message and say, hey, November 4th, we're testing for this position at, 11 a.m., and that's when it is, I'm not here. And so that I'm struggling with that, because that's the whole goal of going back to school, was to go back to work in something with law enforcement. So I don't know. I'm talking myself into it, and then I talk myself out of it. Those books, those poor books. I love books. They're just wrecking them. It says, I know my brother and his wife have a nanny and tons of babysitters. I usually think they do too much, but sometimes envy their willingness to allow someone else to do so much. Yeah, maybe every once in a while I could, but I'm not normally that person. Like, you guys don't understand, like, I didn't even let my children drive with, like, my in-laws until they were much older. Well, so I was supposed to be, so here's an example of what I'm talking about. So I was supposed to be in Arizona at the beginning of September for my cousin's wedding. And I was supposed to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Monday, I got an email that I had a test on Friday morning. Friday was the wedding. So so my husband and the kids, or two of the kids, went to Arizona for the wedding, and I didn't. So I could stay here and take the test. Obviously, they let them miss you. I know. You won't go. I know. It's frustrating. I know. I need to figure it out. My husband is going to probably be like, it took you too long. It's too late. Work is full of Tesla drivers. They won't understand your Snickers humor at work. I know they won't. I know they won't. And I love you guys, but to be honest, you guys don't all pay. You don't all pay the bills. It just doesn't work that way. Most of it's because I won't even get into too much of that, but most of it's because my mom is essentially on her own now that my dad passed away last year. So I've got to help her. And in doing that, I'm going to at least do something that I want to do. But they won't understand my Snickers humor, Luke. They just won't. Nobody's going to get me like you guys get me. I mean, you guys get like the realist me. You don't get the political bullshit version that I'm going to have to go to work and do. I don't want to do that. I also don't want to wear like work clothes. I just want to wear t-shirts and jeans or jean shorts. No, no, Pitbulls, he did not. No, please. We'll never see T again. She's too busy now and she's adding more. Okay, Lynn says, on February 16th, 3 days after the homicides, Doolin said he picked up a lead sheet that Alan's name and phone number. The officer asked to meet Alan at his home, but he declined. But yeah, that's not till the 18th that he calls him because he's on the way to the grocery store. So if he picked up the lead sheet on the 16th, it still doesn't actually tell us the day that he called in with the tip. Just the tip. So stupid. That's so bad. Love you guys too. I can't go there again today. Stop it. Yeah, there's no place. Still no place. Still no place. I agree. I agree with that. I won't go because I don't trust the police in Indiana. They'd get you, Sleuthy. I think it would be amazing. I know. All right, you guys. I'm going to wrap this up. We'll just call this day 9 and 10, I guess. We'll come back tomorrow and wrap up the afternoon and whatever else there is. Or do you guys want to do another one later? Probably not. We'll do another one tomorrow. We'll just do another one tomorrow. That should work. We'll see what happens. If there's some bombshell thing that happens this afternoon, then I'll then we'll have to figure it out. But other than that, Radar, take Mom to dinner. I'd have to take dinner to her, but thank you. That's so sweet of you. Thank you very much. All right, you guys. Either way, I'll see you on the YouTube streets talking Delphi somewhere tonight, whether it be with Bob and Allie on Andrea's, Lawyer Lee's. I'll see you guys somewhere. So go enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow for Hump Day. Bye.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown. Down the rabbit hole. the unknown.